I'll roll it. I'll immediately feel like yawning, but otherwise I will say, hi, it's what's up. We're doing it. Do you want me to do the Patreon intro, or do you just want to tell a story?
Just do the Patreon intro. I need this monster. I need it in my life.
Okay. Sorry, I had to burp a little bit. I had a spicy chicken sandwich just now. So I would like to remind everybody that this episode is brought to you by our patrons like I Got Comics, Qua, Blacklist OG. I screwed up the alphabetizing. Sorry. It's what's up. Whatever. Nobody cares. Our lowest production level. Where was I? Was it C? Jeremy Vasquez, Kylie Denton, Nestor Flores, Rogue Robin, Shawnee P, Soto 424, and Video Gamer 75. And that if you like what we do and want to see us do more, you should consider supporting us on Patreon. You get access to episodes early and lots of other goodies, and it really helps us out. But it will not help out my ability to speak.
No, nor mine. But before that,
yeah,
that's the sound of me cracking. Yep, thank you. So I'm starting off with a monster, and I'm starting off with a story time because today Lucky had to go work out in the country at the RV park that his friend's family own. Now, whenever Lucky's posting in the Discord about, pictures of the wildlife and stuff, yelling about eagles or, just mountains and stuff, that's usually where I am. That's, an hour out, hour and a half out, depending on traffic. So, it's a bit out there. And basically, anytime that I have to go out there, we usually head out early so we can get back early. Today we left out, let's see, it was about 8:30 a.m. We got back around 4 o'clock.
Yeah, that's a very my dad move. Start as early as humanly possible, even if everybody's asleep. You'll wake up later. You'll be fine.
Yeah. So, of course, I had to get to bed early so I could be well rested and not be a, what's the word I want to say? Lazy bum standing around, half dead. So, I went to bed at a reasonable hour, and unfortunately, Lucky is someone who does not fall asleep easily. But, I have to tough it out, stay in bed, lay around, and, get comfortable and hopefully drift off into that sweet, sweet slumber wonderland. But around 3 a.m., as I just feel myself about to slip into death's sweet embrace, I felt something crawling on my face.
Oh, no.
And immediately I slapped the shit out of myself.
Correct. That, I have not as bad as yours. I wasn't physically touched by anything, but I have a similar story I'll tell at the end of this. I would just want to briefly comment. There are some things that are you go from sleepy to awake in negative seconds. You go back in time and wake your ass up.
Yeah. So at that point, I was completely. You know that moment where they say those few seconds when you first wake up, you can be considered legally insane and whatnot. I understood in that moment because after I slapped the fuck out of myself, I had no idea who I was. I had no idea where I was. I had no idea what just happened. My face was just in pain. And I look at my pillow, and there's a little black dot on it, and I was just like, oh no. Oh, no. So I got up, turned on my light, and just crumpled on my lovely white pillow. There was a dead spider. Now, I'm not afraid of spiders. I'm not. I've been bitten by them, I let them crawl around and stuff. But here's the thing. After something has been crawling on you, you then get the phantom sensations of that when anything, even the slightest hair on your body moves, it feels like something's crawling on you. And that instantly just makes you twitch and become a little bit more alert. So after I saw this dead spider, I knew right then I wasn't getting to sleep. So here we are. It is 4:30 p.m. Lucky has not slept at fucking all. I have went to out in the country, done hard labor, back. I'm here to record.
Oh, so you're the sleep man now.
I am the sleep man. And to top it all off, we're not going to go into Final Fantasy VII immediately, but Amazon pulled shenanigans on me, and even though they originally said it wasn't going to get to me to Tuesday the 14th, they've delivered my Final Fantasy VII Remake to me today, only 1 day late. Physical fucking copy. So I'm just like, I want to play this, but I want to stream it, but...
Also, you're operating on about 12 hours since you last slept? A little bit more, I think, now, yeah?
I took a nap after recording yesterday. That was only a 2-hour nap. So, actually, no, I'm going way further. Let's see here. We got some...
Well, how long do you think you slept before you awakened yourself?
Maybe an hour, maybe a half hour.
Ooh, that's rough.
Yeah, as I said,
Oh, Lucky will probably come to... Well, I don't know, because you've actually got the most notes, because my sleep schedule in general this week has been a little fucked up, so I've been, like Lucky, I also have trouble going to sleep sometimes. It's hard to just relax and let everything flow, and my sleep cycle is goofed up. I told you yesterday, I think, when we recorded at like 4 in the afternoon, my time, and I was like, or was it was a bit more closer to 5. I was like, yeah, I've only been awake like 3 hours, dude. And you were like, whoa. I was like, yeah, no. You'd think I'd be wide awake after like 9 hours of sleep, but no.
Lucky you can usually operate on like 6 to 7 hours of sleep. Like,
yeah, 7 to 8 is your ideal. I will occasionally, I know they say you don't quote unquote catch up on sleep, but I feel like when you're really tired, your body rests longer. So I've been known to like zonk out for a good 9 to 10 hours on a rough day.
Listen, sleep is just fucking awesome, okay?
It's great.
It's just simple as that. If your bed is comfy and there's nothing to bug you, you can just stay in your sweet, sweet dreamland. Where
just
shit
roll over.
is... Yeah.
Oh, is it cold? Let me put this blanket on. Oh, is it hot? Let me get rid of this blanket. Boom.
Whatever. Like, literally, unless I have to, like, on weekends...
Have I ever shown a picture of my giant fuck-off dark curtains? Because I have a giant front window in the front of my house, because this wasn't a bedroom originally. I have a big window. It has shades which draw, but also it has giant, bloody great curtains to keep the sun out, because it's Florida. I don't know if I've ever shown a picture of it. Maybe I will for the episode. But it's, like, not quite gothic, but yeah, I have big dark curtains to keep the horrible day star out of my way, so I can sleep.
Yeah.
You broke up a little bit there for me. Sweet. Lucky's cutting in and out a little bit for me, audience. My Discord is... There we go. Okay, I'm lighting up. I think Discord just lagged out for a second.
I'm not opposed to recording and then streaming, or streaming for ungodly hours at a time. But, like, I don't know if I can do it today. But I'm
that sounds bad.
Yeah, it sounds bad. So who knows? Maybe after I get some more food, maybe if I quaff more monsters, we will see.
Yeah, calories is always the thing that you like. First and foremost, caffeine helps, obviously, but the other thing that usually it's like, oh man, I don't have any fucking energy. Just calorie up. Like, just eat some fucking breakfast, eat some second breakfast, eat some third breakfast, whatever. Have as many breakfasts as you need. Power up.
Power up. Level up. So,
but the thing I was going to mention really quick. Was the other night, interestingly enough, I was not actually asleep because this was with my eyes, but I was gently drifting off into that gentle night, going to sleep, and then I'm looking over, and I have a white trash can. It sits under my computer desk. Look over there. I see something small and dark move across the white surface of my trash can, and I'm like, well, I don't think I can sleep comfortably until I figure out what that is. Let me reach over and look with my flashlight. What's this tiny glint of reflection coming from the far side of my trash can? So, it was a spider, and like Lucky, I'm not necessarily scared of spiders, but also, especially for wandering spiders, which we have quite a few varieties in the Floridas, I will not put up with them in my home. I'm just like, guys, you can't be in here. Like, you can be outside. I don't care about that. You can be in my attic, whatever, but you can't be in my living space because I know you guys like to crawl around on floors and ceilings and walls and possibly on my body. So I'm going to need you to fuck right off. And unfortunately, at least some of the varieties of spider happen to be perfectly carpet colored.
Oh,
I'm not sure if that's just how the carpet selection in my room came out, or if, like, the spiders like it because they just so happen to be carpet colored. I don't know. But that's a big, I'm sorry, there's about 10 billion of you in the world. I don't give a fuck. You need to go. So that spider did meet its untimely end with my tissue box.
Yeah, so, I said, if I had caught the spider, like, just wandering around, I probably wouldn't have killed it. I probably even would have fucking caught it. Like, the only reason it got killed is because I had a get the fuck off my face reflex.
Yeah,
because,
Now, I do know, I also have another thing. My mother doesn't like spiders, so that's also kind of just like, well, I don't want to leave a spider wandering around where it can stress out my mom. That's not cool.
Yeah. I like to tell people
small spiders, though, like, Lucky, do you have corner spiders?
Corner spiders?
You know, up in your corners, making little cobwebs, eating flies. Yeah. Love those guys. Yeah. Those guys are great. You know why? They stay in their fucking corner. I can have a comfortable relation relationship with corner spiders?
Yeah, like as I say, usually when I see spiders in my room, I'm like, you can't be in here, dude. So I usually just, grab like the cup, the paper, and just like, get thee hence, fly. Or
we
if
do
it's
that a
like
lot with lizards in this house because we have cats.
And then like corner spiders, and it's like non-aggression practice. You stay in your corner, I stay in mine. All cool.
I mean, I'm not using the corner up by the ceiling.
Nah.
You can have it.
Yeah,
that's free floor
It.
space.
This is what we like to call a symbiotic relationship.
And honestly, while I don't think I've ever appreciated walking into a
Loft, you don't get to talk about spiders. You live in Australia.
While I've never really appreciated, running headfirst into a spider web, I also outside spiders. Listen, you're outside. That's my fault. That's my fault for going outside. Carry on, dude. Same rule with scorpions, centipedes, millipedes, all kinds of things.
Once I leave my house, I'm in your house then.
Yeah, basically. Especially considering I live on lakefront property. Well, not all scorpions are assholes. We have bark scorpions, though, around here, who can be a little aggressive. I haven't seen many inside this house, though I've seen a couple outside. But, again, scorpions are kind of just Again, we have cats, so that's another thing. It's like, okay, scorpion, you can't be in my house, because I have house cats. Felis domesticus will try and eat, or at least play with anything, so... Especially right now, that would be really awkward if I got a cat stung by a scorpion.
Oof.
In general, also, I got a lot of nieces and nephews that come over to see the grandparents. Not now again, obviously, but that's just letting poisonous insects into your house is not a good thing to do with that kind of situation.
No, it's not.
Which is just, it's unfortunate for them, but like I said, there's a shitload of them out there. Mm-hmm. There's more of them than there are of us. They'll be fine.
Alright, but
well, Lucky, you have a big long list, so do you want to start on something? Or do you want to, you just told a story, do you want me to warm us up by talking about Persona 5 Royal real quick, or? Oh,
no, we can get to that. No, but I do want to note, everyone who is listening, you may all kiss Goes Lucky goodbye. I said I have my new computer. It is all hooked up. It is working fabulously. I do have to still run a few diagnostic things and clean up some old drivers, but other than that, it's working fine. Like, the biggest problem I had with it is the fact that the case was a little wonky in how they set up the SSD card. Apparently, they mount it to the backside, and you can just attach it there. And there's a slot for a second one, so I'm like, ooh, I can get fancy with this. Just gotta buy me some more SATA cables and whatnot. Because the computer I bought it off of Amazon from, what was it, iBuyPower or something, PC. Like, you'll recognize it. It's basically the case that has, like, the 3 rainbow lights in front. Yeah, I got me one of those. Cost me about $1,000. Thanks, Amazon, for giving me a interest-free, easy payment plan of $200 a month. That's gonna really help me out there.
Yep. But most computer players are like that. I could have done that with my computer, but my the cost for my Dell was low enough that I was like, nah, I just prefer to just throw it on a credit card and get it all out of the way.
And that's a solid plan. So I came in, and Lucky was having a crisis, if to put it the way is, because Lucky doesn't like spending a whole bunch of money on things that may potentially fail. Because everyone always hears, like, little stories about how things have, like, come dead or arrival. Shoot, just thinking about it, the parts I bought before one of them came dead or arrival, and I didn't know which one, so I had to send all of them back, and it was a little bit of hassle. Well, I can't say too much of a hassle. It was a little bit of a hassle to get all my money back. And so here, this thing is like $1,000 of my said monies, and is coming through a trying time, like, to a box full of delicate equipment that might get handled who knows which way to get here. And then I'm going to put my big clumsy hands on it and see if I can get it all hooked up without something continuously exploding. By the way, I did break something. Luckily, I was able to fix it. What I broke is I accidentally disconnected the LED lights that power the fan lights. So I was like, no! But it was an easy fix. Apparently, the connectors on there are real loose and wiggly, and they just fell right out. But I was able to fix that, and
it's probably because they're purely ornamental.
Yeah. But as I said, it's pretty. They're rainbow. They spin slowly in place. I'm like, this is the future. And here's the thing. This thing is so the future, it doesn't have a CD drive.
Oh, wow. You've gone back in time. Mine actually managed to come with disk drive still.
Yeah, mine didn't. And I was thinking about it, and I was like, I'm not particularly upset that it doesn't have a disk drive. Like most like drivers and things and anything I can get online.
Fuck, I'm pretty sure you can get like if you're like, oh shit, I want to play DVDs on my computer. Now that you probably want to do that, but you could. You can probably buy a cheap ass external, for pretty quick, and it just needs to read DVDs.
Yeah. Now here's the crazy thing that slayed me is that even though my computer came with no CD drive, they still sent me the discs for the driver updates. I was like, guys.
Of course they fucking did. Thanks, computer sellers.
That's all. So I entertained myself by like throwing the discs at the computer case, trying to jam it into weird slots, and I just eventually tossed it out and just went online and got the drivers. But it's running real good. I've seen increased performance. I can finally play Warframe at high resolutions. Not many people are probably interested in me playing Warframe, but hey. So with this, my recording should be better. My art should be better. Now, the only thing I have to worry about right now is that I have to go get my disk drive from my old computer, 2 computers ago, which has my copy of Vegas on it, which is the video editing software I use. Because I was thinking about, I was like, oh wait, I can't I can't just download it again because I need license keys and patches and all that stuff. And I'm like, I'm not sure where to get that. So either I have to rip open my computer again and do some more rocket surgery to it, or I have to get an external hard disk reader, which they do exist. I have seen them. So I'm just like, oh boy. But hopefully with this, my new computer, we can start upping the production hour. Oh, let's see. Kira Starlight actually has something like this. For boutique buildies like iBuyPower, it's not worth to include drift dice because their audience doesn't use them. The disc drivers come as part manufacturers and part of the product, so they are obligated to give it to you. That's good to know.
That makes sense, because so I'm assuming that like basically what he's saying is that the people you bought from iBuyPower, they build the machine for you basically.
Yeah, they use
and then they pass it to you.
Yeah.
Which means they bought the parts, so they get the drivers and whatnot, but they didn't necessarily buy the disk drive.
Yeah. So I would have liked building my own computer, but at this point I'm just like, fuck it, I'm done with this. I'm done. And for what I got, I'm satisfied. Now, I said, so with my computer comes a lot of media stuff. So before we get too far into it, let's talk about gacha for a while. Because, funny enough, I started playing Arknights again. Now, this was actually kind of funny. So with my working computer now, I can now maintain an art program for more than, a random amount of time before it crashes and I potentially lose what I have worked on, which means I can save, because Lucky's horrible about saving. I really am. I'll, just leave it and forget it. And if it crashes, well, there goes 3 hours of work. And a artist that I follow on Twitter, they had a birthday, and they're one of those artists who's, a really good artist, but they just follow people, and they followed me. I'm just like, oh, it's like, I've been blessed. And their birthday came up, so I was like, all right, I'm gonna draw one of their characters. Don't look, it's a horrible drawing. But I did it. And here's the thing. Lucky doesn't doesn't think he's a good artist, and he thinks he sucks at it. So every time he looked at it, he was like, no, do this. So I started procrastinating. And what I started procrastinating with is I procrastinated with Arknights. Now, I procrastinated so hard from arting that I got Warfarin, Perfumer, and Gavel up to E2.
That's a lot. That's a lot of procrastinating.
Yeah. I posted it in our Discord. It's like, boom, I did all these. And people are just like, didn't you drop Arknights? I'm like, yeah, but I was procrastinating. If you want Lucky to do something, just find something that he wants to do even less and try to make him do it. Works great, that reverse psychology. So now that I actually put a little bit of effort in, I'm actually trying to work on some things here and there, trying to get some others. Mostly right now, I'm trying to get the second tier of the caster sniper, skill chips, so I can finally level Hayes. I totally spaced on her name. Amiya.
Amiya, okay.
Amiya. Hayes, Amiya, maybe Skyfire, and then Jessica and Shiryuki. I'm saving my 6 stars for last because Jesus fucking Christ.
Skyfire's costume should be coming up soon.
Mm-hmm.
There's been some clairvoyance confusion with Arknights in English and in Japanese. We've done some stuff out of order. We're right now doing the Halloween special event.
Mm-hmm.
which has confused the shitload of people.
Yeah.
But it seems like they're showing off, like, at least some of the summer stuff that would have been chronologically next. Like, I've already seen the ad for Castles.
Oh, really? Oh, yeah.
So, it's a little weird, but they're doing some of it, and we'll work it all out.
Yeah. And I said, I saw Castle's summer skin, I was like, this is great.
It's great. I still don't have a castle. I had a robot tag earlier, and it dropped. Thanks, game.
Oh, ooh. Big oof. So, Arcanite is going fine, but as I said, I'm not going too hard on it.
Well, Tyranno, that would be great, but I don't have a Chen, so there you go.
Hints! We're not going to talk about Arcanite anymore. Now we're going to talk about Azurian.
Oh, wow. Okay, fine.
Yeah, well, unless you have
That's okay. I haven't done anything nearly as impressive as E to anybody. I've just pushed in the story enough that I'm working on upgrading my base enough that I can get the last dorm, because I have so many facilities and slots now that I have excess units who need morale restored. So I really need to prioritize building that last dorm and not having enough fucking furniture parts to buy this whole furniture set.
I think I have 3 full furniture sets. Wait, no. The third one isn't complete, but it's mostly complete.
Well, so I appreciate you can do a bulk buy.
Mm-hmm.
It's fucking expensive for the Halloween one. It's like 5K furniture parts, and I'm like, Jesus. I'm not really sure where I'd get all those. I'm at like 2K, and I haven't bought anything since Chen's office, but I'm still like, holy shit, that's a lot.
I didn't buy Chen's office, so I have like 5K.
I did because it was funny, and I just made enough to buy all the bits.
But so in Azurian, they had their big login kerfuffle, and like they promised, they gave out a lot of compensation. Now the crazy bit of the compensation is they gave 5K of the event points at the time, and I was all like, Jesus. Because that was like a real big boon to me. It was like, I think that like when that hit.
I think you said that probably not last week. I think we completely didn't talk about gacha last week. But a couple weeks ago you were like, yeah, I had to decide to start the event because they gave me a shitload of free points.
Yeah. Oh no, that was for the Dragon Girl and Soft Map. They gave you like 2K for that, and then
and then later they gave us a shitload of points for
yeah, they gave 5K for
Merster Burst.
Yes.
Whatever the fuck it's called.
Misty microlayer mist.
I'm bad at actually event names.
I was able to like actually get pretty good on that, so I was able to get eventually all the ships, including Bluegill. The last ship that I had to fight for was of course an elite, which was Cooper. But she's a cute, so it was all like this is fine.
I did not get a Reno.
Oh, that's sad.
And I have basically no cubes because I've been throwing all of them at the new thing, the next thing that happened.
Yep. Well, actually, before that, I want to talk about this side event that just came out of fucking nowhere.
Oh, their April Fool's event, the Bururin event. That was fucking great.
That was fucking great. And so they basically had a Bullen event where they gave Bullen a costume, and now because of that, there is a Bullen that I can never just burn up because she's in the costume. All like, well, now you're here forever, girl.
Yeah, I locked my next purple Bullen and gave her a costume. And I was just like, well, you're just here forever because you've got a fucking gold Bullen stando. Literally, doesn't she have the menacing, or is that just Cessarin's gif?
That might have been Cessarin. But like, realist talk, like the event was only like 2 pips, like where regular Bullen.
Yeah, it was like 2 story bits, and then you had to find all the clues. I tried to do them naturally, but then I accidentally got to the last day, and I was like, shit. Let me look up the last 4.
And realist talk, the Bullen boss dialogue made me laugh so hard. Apparently, Bullen is a great loan word. I was like, oh my god, I love the Bullen so much. But right now in Azure Lane, we're getting a small break as far as I'm concerned because they rolled out Fallen Wings and their War Archive with a raid-up on the event ships and heavy construction.
So when we got Fallen Wings, that was the rerun for JP and CN, so we got some extra ships early. Mm-hmm. Now we are not getting a rerun, we are getting it added to War Archives permanently. Mm-hmm. And they are running a raid-up with all the ships from it.
Yep.
Which is good, because I can finally get my fucking North Carolina.
Yep. Now, if I also remember correctly, Amagi has been permanently added to the construction pool.
Was that something permanently added?
Was it? I
Panda!
Panda! No,
Panda Penguin!
Oh, no, server.
No, so we added an Amagi server. We added a new server to make up for the server load.
Ah, okay. Well,
though I wouldn't be surprised if they did something to celebrate Don't they make? Didn't they make some extra Googles because they added a Sandy server?
Well, I don't know if they're giving it for Googles for that, but they also have this other thing where you get a free hood, a ton of cubes, and a whole bunch of daily rewards. Oh, okay, so basically I probably had the same reaction that Lob did, is all the work Amagi is being added, and I just kind of blinked out after that.
They'll get there eventually.
Mm-hmm. So, do you have anything else you want to mention about Azure Lane?
No, I really need to log in and check on my stuff, because I'm pretty sure I set some construction, but I don't do that while recording, because BlueStacks is a little CPU greedy.
Apparently the Amagi thing, originally people thought it was an April Fool's joke. No, their April Fool's joke is the Mega Bull in fucking DJ fucking loading screen. That was kind of hilarious. Yeah. So Girls Frontline
Theater is still ongoing. I'm still actively doing that.
I'm not. The second map just made me rage quit so hard.
Oh, okay. I guess I don't know. The thing about theater is theater. Not necessarily the Springfield thing, which ended, I think, and I never did anything in. It's almost like a raid system for those. Oh, wait,
I'm thinking about something else. Then my bad.
You're thinking about the previous event with Springfield?
Yeah, where the
whatever. The one I literally didn't play because I needed none of the stuff.
Yeah, that one. Yeah, no, I tried doing that. Yeah, it sucked.
So theater is a new system they've added. It's basically like a raid system. We're all working together to beat more levels. You want to climb the points so you can get the core data for our first new Hawk unit, AT4.
Oh, okay.
Which is a little weird. It's a little weird. I guess it's because we talked about this, that heavy weapons have to be a custom thing, but I find it a little weird that they're an AT4 team, because the AT4 is supposed to be super portable. But whatever. They've got a new one. They're adding her. You climb the points ladder to get core data. They did say that you will be able to get it otherwise, but the theater event goes on until the end of this month, basically.
Okay.
They're also doing another. I think they're doing another event soon. I don't remember. Ghost Frontline's very busy right now. I'm not sure why, but maybe just they got a lot of events stacking up. But basically, the way theater works is you have 2 battles per day, raids. Basically, you build a team and attack a zone based on overall progress. You can go back to prior zones, but you can't go ahead to zones until they're unlocked. Higher difficulty zones have more points, but the really high difficulty zones are really fucking hard, and since I still only have, 2 echelons worth of level hundo girls, it's a little rough for me, still. So I usually just pick on lower level maps, but you can still get a decent amount of pointage with your 2 attempts per day. You assemble a team build completely separate echelons. You can use girls who are out on logistics missions in theater mode, which is crazy. But you basically build new echelons. You get more echelon slots depending on what your various constructions and other stuff people have contributed to are. So I think you can go up to 5. You start with 3. You build them all. You assemble your Hawk team. You can give the units fairies, and then it's basically okay, you go into a series of battles, 10 waves. The game will tell you what's in a wave and what their capabilities are, which I think is great. So they'll say, I forget the name of the units, but the Sanguiferous armor units that have batons.
I can tell
you. They'll be armor. The little flying drones, they'll be agile. Some of they'll be agile, heavy strike. So they're fast and they do a lot of damage. Kind of stuff. So you know what you're getting into. It has the rough power level. It tells you what they are. It tells you if it's a night or a day battle. You pick which echelon out of the ones you assembled you want to go. You can pick a Hawk unit, which you have so many uses of per unit. So, for instance, by default, you have, 3 uses of one of your Hawks, so you've got 10 waves, so you can't use them on every battle, but almost of them. And then you go, once you've defeated all 10 waves, you get your points, you go home. You can do that twice a day. It's an interesting system. It seems a little slow-paced. There's, as far as I can tell, no story to it. It's just, a map thing that's happening, which kind of makes sense, because it just seems to be a thing we're doing as, a general mechanic, I guess. But it's interesting to try out.
I'll probably put more effort into it later. As I said,
just take a peek at it. You can only do it twice per day, so it's not that time-consuming, you know?
I'll definitely give it a look. But other than that, right now, all I'm really interested in is they have another points ladder event.
Yes, that's right. That's the other thing that's going on.
Yep. It looks like they have a new rifle, and she looks like they have the mecha hands. I'm all this is good.
Oh shit, Paco drew the Canis. Gonna have to retweet that.
Oh, excuse me, I gotta go to Twitter. And, yep, that's a Baku. And I completely lost my train of thought.
You were talking about the points ladder with a new rifle whose name escapes me because I don't remember what model it was, so it
was like J something.
Is
So
it a Japanese gun? A Japan gun?
So yeah, I worked on that. I actually scored pretty good. I was looking at it, so like use 100 T-Doll contracts. I'm like, I ain't doing that. I'm just gonna do heavy production twice and just use 50 contracts that way. I actually got 2 elite guns out of that, 5-star guns out of that. I was like, oh, okay. One was
actually, that reminds me. I don't know if you saw this, but it's weird. So they added MP7, who was a drop in the campaign a while ago. Which one was it? The name's all blur to me. Wasn't Singularity? What was the newest one?
The newest one was
Continuum Turbulence.
Yeah, there it is.
She was in MP7 was an event drop. She is in the heavy construction now.
MP7, isn't that the lolly machine gun? What am I saying? They're always lolly machine guns. No, MP7. No, not MG7. Hang on.
Yeah, MP7.
Look here, so I can get an idea.
Was it MP7? It looks different. May have been a different one. It's MG. Was it MG7? I don't know. They added a new one. Here's the problem. Nobody in our listening community actively listens who plays Girls Frontline. We cannot fact check ourselves.
Nah. Whatever, it's fine. It's fine.
Maybe MP7? I don't know. It's in the news. Somebody can look it up.
But, so, yeah, I'm gonna, like I said, I don't know. Between, like, Azure Lane and FGO is probably gonna be where most of my time is, but I'll probably be putting half efforts into both Girls Frontline and Arknights for the foreseeable future. But, unless we have anything else for gacha games, I think that might be it.
Yeah, seems about right.
Alright. So, I'm going to switch over to other medias, where I'm going to talk about a live-action show for a little bit. So, Omega, have you ever seen the meme with the samurai holding a cat with a sword out?
No?
No? Okay. That's interesting. Because it is a meme.
Sure. Don't think so, no.
Let's see here. Let me just see if I can pull it up. I'm going to find an image. Here it is.
That's right. They've announced that the DJ Maxx collaboration is upcoming for Girls Frontline. And I'm like, I don't know what the fuck that is.
Yeah. So I posted it in our Patreon chat. This was a small meme that went around for a while.
I may have seen this once.
Yeah. So one day, while Lucky was full of not giving a fuck, he was in Amazon Prime, and he saw a show called Neko Samurai. And I'm just all like, immediately, what the fuck is this?
What's the meme from Django? You had my blah, and now you have my blah blah?
Yeah.
I don't remember.
So, I skimmed it over, and apparently its whole basis is a grumpy-looking samurai dude ends up kidnapping a cat and has to take care of it. And, like, keeping it a secret. Now, it has 2 seasons out right now. I only watched the first one. It has 2 seasons and a movie. And I believe that scene that the image is from the movie. But, basically, very grumpy man. The white cat is named Tamanojo. And she basically teaches the samurai how to be a better person. Not saying he was a bad person. It's just he was very bad at communicating with others. But when you have to take care of a small white thing of adorableness, you have to start opening up a little bit. So it was surprisingly heartfelt and entertaining as you watch this happen. And like I said, I haven't watched the 2nd season, but I plan to. But unfortunately, Lucky plans to watch a lot of things that he hasn't got to because there's a lot happening.
There's a lot of stuff. I still haven't caught up on some of my stuff.
It's like, Jesus.
I need to sit down and watch TV sometime. But because we're in a video game time, I feel like that's a waste. I cannot, I'm like, fuck, dude, I could be clearing levels in Mementos instead of watching TV.
So, yeah, because I want to watch the 2nd season of Neko Samurai. I want to finish watching Alter Carbon, the movie, then the 2nd season of Alter Carbon. Let's see, I still need to watch Love, Death, and Robots. There's a lot of like actual TV things that I want to watch, just not anime, and I just don't have the time for it anymore. But I found Neko Samurai to be a good start. I guess it's an intro into those Edo period dramas. because it was apparently actually filmed at the Edo town they have, where it's just a giant recreation of the Edo time period, which I find hilarious and amazing, and I wish I could go one day. It's on the bucket list now. But that's enough for Neko Samurai. I give it a hearty recommendation if you want to watch things with samurais and cats in them. All right,
but
later,
what if they want to
David.
watch something that also has pizza in it?
Well, that's when they have to watch Samurai Pizza Cats, which is an actual show. But with live action stuff out of the way, I feel like we should just move on into anime. Now, I have been watching a lot of things. I haven't caught up on everything I want to watch yet, but I could definitely start giving some recommendations and things I've liked about shows I have seen. Some are going to be real fucking quick, some are not. So, right now, Ascendance of a Bookworm and Fruits Basket are both going into their second season, and I'm excited for that. I've watched what I can so far, and I'm looking forward to what comes next. Omega, you said you were able to blurrily watch this, but what I like to call Destruction Flag Otome has had their first episode. They have their second episode out, but as I said, Lucky's been
yeah,
not
you've been busy
here
today. Luckily, that's good, because we've both watched one episode then.
Mm-hmm. And as someone who was a big fan of the light novel and manga, I am super happy to see this animated now. And I was especially pleased to see that in the first episode, they end on fucking Katarina literally axing down her little brother's door because she has to apologize. Because
it's a very tone-setting episode in a lot of ways.
Yeah. And I think that's what was mostly important, is you need to understand that this anime is not going to be serious at all.
It's not going to be super serial, no. Like, it... Obviously, she has, themes, right? Like, she has concerns that are very serious.
Mm-hmm.
Like, you know, upon realizing, oh shit, I'm in my fucking Otome game and I'm the villainess who literally in every route I die or get exiled. What the fuck? Like,
but if you look...
when she goes through all this, I'm like, wow, that really sucks. What the... Like, it makes you feel the kind of... It's good writing because it makes you feel like you would go, what the hell, Otome game writers? You know. And it is interesting to see the whole thing. Yeah,
it's like, as I said, it's not... I can definitely say it's your kind of standard isekai experience, but not your standard isekai experience.
Yeah, so I'll say this. I have not seen a lot of the kind of commentary they're going for, obviously comedically, where, okay, you've been isekai'd, literally she says that she recalls the end of her, when she returns from her reincarnation amnesia, I don't know what you call it. She bunks her head and remembers her other life, that she was hit by a truck. They don't see it, but it happened. I'm wondering, Lucky, if there's a meta commentary on traffic safety in Japan here.
I don't know.
I mean, what's going on with all these fucking truck accidents? Anyway, but it has that kind of standard setup, except that she's the villain who's gonna lose, right? Like, she knows that if she follows that track, it's bad, and the fucking council scene was pretty funny.
That's how you kind of, like, Katarina has a fan name which is super popular. It's Bakarina. Like, all hail our Lord and Savior Bakarina, because she's a complete and utter idiot.
Yeah, the thing is, well, obviously she would definitely lose then, but she was technically better off before she recovered from her amnesia, because she is now, basically, well, at least in the first episode, she doesn't get any older than, what is it, 11? 10?
Yeah, she's still young.
She's still very, very young, and she's like, I remember it's funny, because she thinks to herself about the engagement, she's like, but I'm like a high school girl inside, I don't know if I can be attracted to like a 12-year-old kid, or whatever, however old the prince is, which is kind of funny, but that's kind of her problem, right? Like, she suddenly has this, that is how the first episode is set up, but again, Axe, you're doing the thing. You're talking about something that you've only read about. Actually watch it and talk about the stuff that exists in the context of the medium. Anyway. Okay, but we're talking about the anime, buddy. Like, Lucky could talk about all kinds of things, but he's not.
Yeah.
I read light novels.
I read the light novel, so come at me, Axe.
Yeah, the overall tone of the first episode is very much that, like, okay, so she has no idea what she's doing any better, but she has become different, and that's just... It's full of fuck-ups, right?
Yeah, well, actually, here's something I actually really, really like that they did in the anime. They really didn't really show off in any other mediums. They actually show what Katarina was like before.
Yes, they do a setup.
They do a setup,
which
like in the other
immediately
mediums,
shows
you
you that she is in fact the vain, bitchy high school rival character.
Mm-hmm.
And then she bonks her head and she's like, "Oh shit, I'm the bitchy rival character. I'm gonna fucking die."
Yeah, and I wish they kind of showed off this a little bit more, but like she had been that way so long that when she bonked her head, she completely changed the way she spoke and interacted with other, and it freaked everybody out.
They don't go on that enough. There is some commentary, like when she starts like training with a sword, one of the maids is like, "She's completely different. It's fucking weird, dude."
Mm-hmm.
Honestly, the way the anime presents it anyway, you almost feel like the staff and the parents are relieved that she's not an asshole anymore.
Yeah.
And maybe we'll get into that in a second, because she's... The axe thing is where they end. It's a climax, but also it's... Hopefully they respond to that, because that's fucking weird, guys. Though
I'm
honestly,
just more amazed that this little girl could just have an axe and wield it enough to chomp down.
Her parents are weird. Like, it's kind of funny that they almost seem like they're just like happy that they don't want to say that she was an asshole before, but they seem kind of happy also that she's not an asshole. The part of that just might be the joke that she does, where like, "Oh, we thought that my cousin was my mom thought my cousin we adopted was actually his legitimate child, but we sorted that out. Now they're super lovey-dovey." I'm just like, That's hilarious. Well, but also the anime does do a thing, and I don't know if any of the previous version is that the anime starts with a in media res flash forward, whatever you want to call it, where it's like you get the fundamental setup in the first like 60 seconds. She arrives at the magic school. She's like, "I will defeat you, Doom Flags," and then we smash cut to years ago, right? So it gives you the setup that is like, if you've never heard anything about the show, you're like, "What the fuck is this girl talking about?" And then it kind of builds. First, you see her as an asshole. Then she bonks her head, and she's like, "Oh shit, I'm an asshole."
Like, man. So, I said, I'm really excited for this. Like, I've been waiting for this, like, I think over a year since they announced it, and I think before that, I'm just like, I hope it gets an anime.
Yeah, I'll be glad to see the whole of it. Because this was the thing I was going to mention earlier, but we got to cut off track talking about kind of how the anime is structured. I personally have not seen a lot where they do this trope with the standard isekai, where you are the bad guy. Like, I've never seen Overlord, but I believe that's kind of some of the idea there. But that seems like it's played in a much more straightforward sense. It becomes an evil Overlord figure. But in this, it's like, oh, heck, I'm the bad guy. I really don't want to be the bad guy, because that means I'm going to lose.
I do know in light novels this is actually fairly common. Actually, it's actually pretty common in Otome setting, being cast as the villainess in a reverse harem situation.
Yeah, I don't know. Maybe that's a commentary about Otome games, which I don't have a lot of experience with as a genre. As an ethos. We could have a whole super interesting conversation about genre, because I've watched some video essays recently, but that's probably for another time. Isekai, I think both Otome and Isekai are separate genres that have their own coded language. And it's interesting to see this one plays up the Isekai language, right? Oh shit, I was killed by a truck, I was in high school. Oh shit, I have memories of my previous life, I need to do something with my life. But then it does the Otome coding, which is like, oh, I'm the villainous. I'm bad, I'm gonna lose. I have to change this somehow, kind of thing.
Oh yeah, accomplishments of a Duke's Daughter. Yes, that's another really big one. Accomplishment of no, it's actually a light novel.
Well, I'm assuming it has. It
has a manga. Yes. Adaptation. Yes. No. Accomplishments of a Duke's Daughter is a light novel.
A lot of these isekai type tropes probably start as light novels, because that's probably pretty easy for the author to pick up and start writing, and then it's like, oh, hey, this story's kind of popular. You sold some copies. We'll license you a manga.
And then if it does of a Duke's Daughter is definitely more political fake focus, though. It's much more serious.
Well, I think that's kind of there are a lot of jokes about like, oh, did you know that blah 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 is an isekai, right? Because there are some classic works of Western literature which follow a lot of the isekai tropes.
Yeah. Well, actually, I kind of consider like isekai to be like, how do you divide up organisms? It's like species, genus, order, family,
something like that.
Something like that. I think isekai is just like maybe one step above like the like.
Isekai is definitely a very specific. It's a specific style of speculative fiction, right?
Yeah.
The question is always, what if you were reincarnated or moved to a different world?
Yeah, it's
But
like, are you in a game world? Are you in a fantasy world? Are you in
the commonality of the language, the genre is that like, hey, you literally are transported to another world somehow.
Mm-hmm.
Fuck, the Pendragon Adventures are like that. Literally, he's like, hey kid, you gotta go to a different world. Fuck, you can't ever go home.
Oh no.
Whereas Harry Potter is kind of, I know some people have made that comparison, it's also kind of not. Honestly, I think Harry Potter kind of plays more towards a lot of classical urban fantasy stories.
Like honestly, if they say that fucking Harry Potter is that, I could say that fucking Star Wars is the same too.
Yeah, the just leaving your normal life to go on an adventure is not necessarily isekai. You have to like physically leave your whole world. You have to go someplace different, I think.
Actually,
John Carter of Mars, though, probably counts.
Yeah, Tyrannikin, I've started reading that as well, and I do like that one too.
So it's a big genre that's very popular because it's a very easy thing to twist and very easy thing to, so isekai literally means another world.
Yeah.
Or a new world, or however you want to interpret it. But, part of it, I think, is gimmicks. Like, Axe brought this up. Like, that's where your interest with the audience goes. I'm gonna talk about genre now. Because the commonality of genre is how you shorthand stuff to the audience, right?
Yep.
If you see a fantasy story, because science fiction and fantasy are often lumped into nerd shit. You'll often see them at, like, your Barnes & Noble on the same shelves. They're lumped into genre fiction and genre films and whatever. They both often follow the speculative fiction format of like, hey, but what if? It's just that how they handle these things is differently, like their themes and tropes and styles. Fantasy is usually very soft. It's very like, whatever, it's magic, dude. Doesn't matter. Whereas sci-fi tends to be like, hey, we have an explanation and introspective questions. Like, we're here to inspect society and stuff. So isekai is kind of the same way, where it's like, it really depends on what you're going for and why, but the setup codifies to the audience when you're like, okay, so this kid's gone to another world, what kind of world is it? Oh, he's in a fantasy world. Most isekais are. I don't know, I guess that just makes it easier to explain why you're in a fantasy setting.
Well, it's because a lot of times they like to use, like, there's a lot of isekai, especially nowadays, that the game system formula, which is basically just their way to shorthand power levels.
Right, their way to explain their universe's mechanics without having to actually write or explain their universe's mechanics, because you can go, you've played a game, right? And you've been like, of course I played a fucking game, or reading a fucking light novel about some kid being turned into a slime or something. Well, he wasn't a kid. But you know what I mean. There's probably a kid gets turned into a slime or something story.
I know there's a kid who gets turned into a skeleton.
Well, there's the one where a guy gets reincarnated as a hot spring, so I'm like, you can get reincarnated as anything these days. We need the reverse. We need the horror reverse isekai deconstruction where a guy from a fantasy world gets reincarnated as a truck that kills people.
I do know, like, reverse too, where basically finance.
Well, yeah, that's plus size elf.
Yeah.
Which is funny.
What's the one with the necromancer?
I don't remember. Gate's kind of an interesting story because it goes both ways. They experiment with both sides. But what I was going to say is that, so the isekai overtropes, right, the genre codifies to the audience a shorthand. You know what to expect. We mentioned this when talking about Hamefura. Like, you know, watching it, that, like, okay, so you immediately see all the tropes set up, right? She remembers, blah, 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 that kind of stuff.
On it. Double down, because it's characters from things like, light novels game brought to the real world.
Metatextual. Meta commentary like that is usually pretty cool. But anyway, so I was saying that's the overtrope, right? Is like, if you see Hamefura introduce those elements, you're like, okay, so I understand this story. And then usually how the way a work stands on its own, a way a work gets more audience, is how it does its own unknowns. How it approaches the questions of stuff like, basically, like, where your marketing gimmicks are. So, like, you can argue that the marketing gimmick of Hamefura is, one, we are explicitly, it's a otome game universe, so it's like, okay, so this is specifically what we're doing. And then the trope is that she is, one, the villainess, but B, it gives you the question of, well, she's doomed. What does she do? How do I defeat the doom flag?
Her answer is learn swords and learn to garden.
Yeah, the council scene where she's like, what do we do? What the fuck do I do here? Because like I said, This also, I think, harkens back to almost a nostalgia about classic visual novel endings because, goddamn, like she talks about shit. Like I said, it was blurry to me, and it's only one episode, so I'm like, what the fuck are names? I remember Katarina Claes because they made it alliterative, which works out great. What's the prince, her fiance?
I don't fucking
name?
know.
That guy.
We got Prince's brother, and then we got little brother so far.
We've met them in the show.
I
think that was a different one. She remembers the ending with the heroine. Is it Mary? It's probably Mary.
Maria.
Maria. Okay.
Was it Maria Campbell? I want to say.
I don't remember if they said her last name.
But
basically, that's the heroine. She's sweet and nice. And in the OP, the OP is very interesting. One, it doesn't start until like halfway through the show, the first time. But also, it shows a lot of interesting scenes, and I'm like, I really want to see how this is going to go. Or are you just trying to trick me, OP? Because you never know. Openings can be lies.
As I said, I think the production value in this is real good. I was a little worried, but the animation
style is not super sharp, but it's not bad either.
Yeah,
like it's kind of got like a kind of like a light color palette, not super detailed, but not like low res or anything either.
I think it's just trying to be simple, easy to look at.
I think it's kind of like I'm trying to find a good way to phrase it. It's almost like how you'd expect the art style for such a game to be, right?
Yep.
Like not super high detail, but enough detail that you know what's going on. Bright
Feel
colors,
comfy
vibrant.
A little bit. Because I will tell you right now, the Destruction Flag Ultimate is a kind of comfy anime.
Well, it's good. The OP looks very comfy. But I was going to say, though, that it's funny you say that because the plot setup is not very comfy because the ending with that prince is that in the good end, because she was a bully to the protagonist in school, she gets accused of a crime and exiled so her fiance can marry Maria. Which more I think is that, like, God, that guy's... I'm just thinking, wow, this kid's an asshole in the future.
Oh no, like she mentions that how
they explicitly play on the Japanese idea anyway, the sadist.
He's a black-hearted prince.
So he's the the fucking 50 Shades of Grey prince. Thanks, guys. But like you're like, wow, that's just cold. And then in the bad end, Katarina tries to stab the heroine, and the prince kills her in self-defense, but because of the grief, he basically goes into the West or whatever. He's like, no, I cannot marry you. I'm super sad. I killed my fiance.
Oh,
and then she's like sketching out all the other endings, which by like kudos on her. She must have gotten all the endings to remember them all.
Yeah, I think she says she was an Ultimate Game fanatic.
Yes, she says that she was a budding otaku at the start of high school or something, and then by the time that she died, she was like she literally calls herself Otome Joshi. An Otome game girl. So yes, she was very much into this, but she's like, fuck, all the endings end this way. Which is hence the setup. It's so funny though to see her like, oh, I can't not go to this school because they're gonna make me because I have magic.
Earth bump.
And that was pretty funny when she shows herself the flashback of her doing earth magic for the first time. Also, by the way, I don't know, I don't know if it was framed that way, but the anime frames it. Did you catch that when she does her own flash forward of like, I'll just get better at magic? When they show her adopted brother do his magic and fuck everything up later, it's literally the exact same background. It's just him in the place of her. The context is completely different. So that was a neat callback that they did. They kind of played up the themes, but yeah, basically she realizes that shit, I just got to get really good so I can't die.
Get swole.
I don't know, actually. Like I said, I'm not really super familiar with the Otome genre. I do know that, fun fact, Fate was originally going to be an Otome game. It was going to be probably, like, prototype, it would be Ayaka as the heroine, and then all the servants would mostly be male, kind of thing. And then, I believe it was our esteemed man, Takeuchi, who told Nasu, like, dude, Otome games aren't going to sell enough. You need to make it an arrow game instead. And he was like, okay.
By the way, I can't write sex scene, and he was just like, whatever. So, yeah, so as I said, I don't know, I'm probably gonna watch, like, I don't know, if I can't sleep tonight, I'm probably gonna catch up on more anime tonight, and that's definitely gonna be one. Yeah. Now, one of the reasons why, unless you have anything else you want to mention about this.
No, I think I'm good. I probably talked too much about it. Who knows?
That's fine, no, we need to fill up some time. So, one thing that I did completely binge, because I was super excited for this, was Dropkick on My Devil Dash, which is the second season in a series. Now, this is interesting. So, apparently it must have came out online or something, because Crunchyroll just uploaded all 11 episodes, just boom. But, be careful, this is technically season 2. If you want to watch season 1, you have to go back to Amazon to watch it.
Oh, man, I hate when that happens. That's always weird.
Oh, yeah. Yeah, it's real weird. But I watched the first season on Amazon, and I binged all the second season. So, Dropkick on My Devil, its overall premise is I think she's a college girl who has a fascination / obsession with things morbid, demonic, gothic, and whatnot. Randomly buys a summoning book and summons a devil named Jashin-chan, who can't go home because the return spell is in another book, and the only way she can go back to hell is if she can kill her summoner. Unfortunately, Yurine is a stone-blood fucking killer, and her attempts constantly end in failure. It doesn't help that Jashin-chan is kind of a scumbag character and constantly does things to piss off Yurine, which inflicts more gratuitous torture on her. And it's done in this big slapstick comedy routine with a bunch of other fun and adorable characters who just, live out their daily slice of life. So, with the second season, it's pretty much second verse, same as the first, with its slapstick violent comedy, along with a lot of self-referencing and fourth wall breaking. Like, right in, the first episode, I think it's, halfway through, these 3 angels that, have come from heaven because they know they take out devils, except 2 of them have got trapped on Earth, and here comes the third one. And the first angel is like, oh my god, you came back to save us, yay, we can finally go home. And the second angel goes, wait a minute, we're only in the first episode, there's no way this gets resolved this quickly. And I'm like,
classic.
Yep.
I feel like that's a very anime thing to do in the meta. Like, sometimes Western cartoons will do that, but I feel like that's a thing you see a lot when an anime is self-aware. They reference the episode number, right?
Oh, yeah.
Or the time.
Yeah, they reference, they actually used a reference to a commercial, I think, and they're like, can you do that? And I'm like, no, we're fine, we paid the licensing fee. And I was like, oh, good job. And the show is just full of that kind of humor, and it's great, honestly. Like I said, I sat down and binged all 11 episodes at once. I'm like, yes, this is good. So, honestly, Dropkick on My Devil Dash is recommended for a last lap as long as you're not expecting any sort of logical story progression. Both seasons of the anime start in media res, with the main characters and relationships already established. For if you even go back to the first episode of the first season, there's already all the main characters are there and interacting in their everyday devil life. So you don't even see the summoning until the first episode of the second season. And yeah, it's pretty good. Like I said, I like it. I'll probably watch it again in half a year. Let's see what's next on my list. FFVIIR, I think that's how you pronounce it. It's Norse. So FFVIIR also came out. It has its first out. Maybe it's second by now. I don't know. What is time? Is it FFVIIR or Glepnir?
Is there an H in it?
I'm not sure. I might have been super tired when I typed this.
That's Sleipnir.
Sleipnir?
Nice. So, I don't know if it's the same.
Yeah, so it's the third chain that binds FFVIIR. Yeah. So is that with an in or an H?
Glepnir.
Glepnir? I don't fucking know. Anyway, it's that. It's the third chain that binds fucking FFVIIR. It's the name of an anime. And it's a weird anime. It's an action anime with a dash of horror and a side of lewd. Basically, behold, generic high school boy has weird ability to transform into a mascot character. And he looks real creepy. It just so happens it also gives him some cool powers like an enhanced sense of smell, which you can smell a burning building from several miles away, at which point he saves a girl who has her tits out, her bra exposed for no goddamn reason, and for some odd reason he gets a monster hard on and tries to take off her panties before running away with his virgin fucking powers. But of course, the girl was conscious to this and uses this knowledge and other knowledge to blackmail them into a relationship? Slave servitude? Question mark? At which point they get attacked by another monster and they're like, oh no, time for episode 2. Now, I read the manga of this, so I know where it's going, and I said, I do like I do like it because it does mix, it doesn't enter anything max where there's a line between erotic and horror. The story itself, it's very basic. There's some twists down the lines, but as I said, I think it's only slated for 12 episodes, so I'm not sure how in deep depth they'll get into it. But as I said, Lucky likes loot things, and as I said, the manga is pretty decent. So I'm excited for that, and you should all give it if you see something like that, you should give it a try. Now, I have not seen, actually, the second season of Kaguya-sama. I don't actually know if it's out or not. I have not been able to check.
If it has, it is only, I think, just today, because it's trending on Twitter. So.
Yeah. So, I meant to mention, I do know it's on Funimation, and that makes me sad. Originally on Crunchyroll, the first season's on Crunchyroll. But I was thrilled to see that when I was looking at it earlier, they have added the tags for seinen and psychological. And usually when you have an anime with those tags, you don't think, Kaguya-sama. Because Kaguya-sama, especially its first season, is very much a love comedy. But anyone who reads the mangas knows, is underneath all that love comedy goodness, there is some dark, dark things. And I'm hoping that finally in the second season of the anime, we will finally get to see them. Like, there's a reason why a lot of people love fucking Ishigami and cry for him constantly. And just other characters and just things about the president, things about Kaguya is just, oh man. Rogue Robin puts it the best way. Kaguya-sama has some real ass characters.
That is a way to put things.
It is a way to put things. So I'm really excited for that. Like, Kaguya-sama first season is one of my go-to just rewatch animes. I can just put that on whenever and be happy. I think I can only do that with like 3 animes right now. I can do that with Kaguya-sama, I can do it with Laid Back Camp, and I can do it with Tanaka-kun is Always Listless. Give me a second season of that third one.
Wow, that's interesting because I'm thinking to myself, okay, Omega, what's the anime? You like anime, you own some animes. What would you just put on whenever you feel like, right? Mm-hmm. I'm thinking to myself, there's only maybe 2 I feel like comfortable all the time doing. And even then I'm still bad at some of them. So the primary one that comes to mind is I watch Ghost of the Shell Standalone Complex.
I was gonna say that. If you didn't say that, I was gonna be really fucking surprised.
No, that's me.
Yep.
The English dub is really good. That's just like I own the DVDs for the first season. I'm like, no, dude, I can always put Ghost in the Shell in. Mm-hmm. Just like that says something about me. Like you're talking about all these. Literally, one of them has the word "laid back" in the title.
Mm-hmm.
Omega's over here like, but what if I big brain cyberpunk? Keeping in mind that when I was a kid, I did not necessarily like. Maybe that's why, because I watched Ghost in the Shell a lot to actually understand it, because I missed a lot of stuff. It took me years of watching that show to actually be like, oh shit, I understand all these psychological and sociological concepts now, and all this future shit. But like, I think, because like, I will occasionally, man, I'd have to check what I got lying around. Not that I have any videos. I think all my hard copy stuff's still on my old computer. Just because it saved space. But, I think got a little burpy. The only other thing really that I would occasionally watch and had in the backlog somewhere would be the anime of Unlimited Blade Works. But even then, usually I only watch specific episodes because it has some very iconic scenes. Animated by the lovely, lovely UFO Table. Mm-hmm. And if you're curious what scene it is, you know what scene it fucking is. You know what Omega likes. It was a fucking drawful prompt, I think.
Was it?
I'm pretty sure I Like Swords was a drawful prompt, yeah, in the custom one I did.
Yeah, it was.
I Like Swords.
Okay, it's good to hear. So, yeah, as I said, I'm really excited for a second season of Kaguya-sama, and I'll probably caught up on everything after that. So, here's another one that Omega will probably get to when he has a chance, but listeners.
Yeah, I have not watched that yet. That's out now, I assume?
Yeah, there's 2 episodes out right now.
Okay. I have not. I watched the trailer. I haven't actually watched the show yet.
So, simply, I'm not going to go into too much detail of it because I only have, one note for here. If you think this has Eureka 7 vibes, you would be right because it was written by the same dude. And when you watch it, I'm like, nah, this has all the same beats. Fuck.
Yeah, no, I was literally watching the trailer, and I'm like, because I remember the reason why it caught my eye was because somebody talked about the E7 vibes, and I started watching the trailer. Like, nope, that's correct. There's a lot of weird music themes in here, and there's some robots, and there's some boys and some girls, and I'm just like, fuck yeah.
Oh no, specifically the girl has to have a weird hair color for some reason.
Yes, they love the weird pastel. Well, it's not just the girls. In AO, the main character has blue hair eventually, because he's part space alien coral person. Spoilers.
But honestly, I watched the second episode, I think, when I was in my can't see spiders mood, and I was dying laughing at the sister characters. So I'm hopeful.
I'll be sure to check it out. I know some people have mixed feelings about E7, or some people have mixed feelings about certain series of E7, because some people thought the sequel kind of negated the happy ending of the front run. And it's kind of, without getting too much into it, because quite frankly, that's a lot, because I've mentioned this before, I own all of the original Etika 7 on DVD. That's a 52-episoder, and then OW is 2 seasons of, 13 episodes or whatever, so it's like...
Oh, Rogue Robin, did you miss my slap myself awake because of Spider story?
Yeah, I believe they came in late.
I'm sorry, my dude.
It's in the audio, but Lucky had a close encounter of the spider kind.
Yeah. I'm sorry, I just love his reaction. What?
Nani?
Okay. Come again now. So...
But yeah, Etika 7 is I liked it a lot, so...
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, I was also... When the first one came out, I was really in the strike zone for that show.
Yeah.
I would have been, like 12 or 13, I think? Which is the primary zone of that show, because it is the first series is a coming-of-age story. 100%. And also asking really, really high-level sci-fi questions, but also with giant robots.
I'm gonna post my favorite track right now.
Actually, fuck. So, yeah. Oh, the soundtrack for both was great. It was so musically inspired. I have a lot of songs from both series, but also to let you know how much I love that show and that series, I own both of the Etika 7 PS2 games.
Oh, wow.
Yeah. Also, the OP choice for both series actually was really, really good.
I don't remember them off the top of my head.
You probably would.
Yeah.
If I linked a couple of them. There's the final one, Sakura, which also had Amazing Grace in it, which you'd probably remember if you heard. There's a lot. It had really good music, which I may post later, but I can't right now, probably because I'd be listening to it. Anyway.
So, as I said, Listener has all the same beats, and as I said, I like Eureka 7. Here's the problem. I never finished either Eureka 7 or Eureka 7 OW, because I was watching it when it first came out, but for whatever reason, they had to delay the final episode, and I just never finished it. So, that's something I should probably do at some point, is get back all that. I just gotta make a giant backlog of things I need to watch.
Well, but if we ever get the consolidated, I've got DVDs and Blu-rays.
I could do that. So let's see.
That'd be a great podcast here. We're gonna feed Lucky 50 episodes of Etika 7 all at once on my fucking DVD collection, and we're gonna talk about it after. see if he's still alive, or if he has become the floor.
I've become
honestly the original Etika 7 probably wouldn't make you become the floor at the end. It has a lighthearted ending, but god damn that show is very intense at points. Those small children have to do a lot of work to do. They're not really that small, I think, actually. Like I said, I think Etika and Renton were, older than I was when I watched the show. But now I'm 27. They're tiny baby children.
Alright, well, let's see here. I'm gonna keep going with the anime here. Yeah. So, let's see here. I've also put notes down. Well, not notes. I wrote down Prince of Connect Redive, which I haven't watched, but it looks like it's another isekai title. And I'm like, well, now I gotta judge you. And also The Eighth Son, Are You Kidding Me? That's also an isekai title. And I have watched the 2 episodes of that, but it seems it's just doing standard isekai fare that doesn't seem overpowered. This is a good point we should bring up. So the reason why you're like, I must judge you, is if you're new to the channel, which you might be, we recently did cross 2,400 subs. Go us. Lucky is a connoisseur of isekai. You just like the isekai genre. I do.
And you have said that you have liked some titles that were not popular, but you have also been like, this stuff's generic, whatever. Yeah,
I'm still not over fucking, what was it, Ragnarok in 900, whatever the fuck that was. I saw the anime adaptation and I was like, what is this?
That was a couple, they're on audio somewhere, but there were a couple of these isekai titles that we talked about when we were starting out the channel that you were just like, these are just not great. And I know this because I know these series.
AXA depends, like, very, like, I don't, like, take anything as bad immediately. I like to give everything a shot and watch it for a little bit and see where it goes. But then sometimes, and like, as I said, like, my threshold for tolerance is very low. Like, I can find enjoyments in most things. So the fact of when I find something intolerable, that is saying something about the show.
Yes, that's definitely similar. We've talked about this. We definitely have similar tastes in that regard, where I'm like, I can be very critically eye about something. Like, I can really pick something apart, but for most stuff, I'm just like, it exists. Like, for me to go, this is awful, I'd have to be like, it has to be like really rough. Like, I haven't heard anybody complain about it now that it's out, so I don't know. But several people were rattling internet sabers before Final Fantasy VII Remake came out that they'd fucked up the narrative somehow, and I was just thinking to myself, be like, I'm not gonna notice. I mean, we saw that they made some changes even in the demo, right? Like with and I see lots of people typing. We haven't played it yet, even though it's out. Don't say jack shit, or you will be destroyed like a meteor from space. But because that's the other thing, we like to also experience things for ourselves.
Do I have a slap
emote? No. But there's definitely some like that sort of stuff that'd be like, I wouldn't fucking notice, because I probably wouldn't, because to me the enjoyment of what I want out of things is very limited. What could also be Panda Penguin, because he also said jack shit literally. Thanks, buddy. I got you. I'll get you back in Jackbox one of these days.
Omega will remember this.
Omega remembers a lot of things. No, I did not watch the last couple episodes of Goblin Slayer. So that's the thing, right? I will watch most things, I will appreciate most things, at least if I have time. But I don't always stay into something. Like, if it doesn't really grab me, or if I fall out of the mood for it, like, I never finished watching all of the first season of Slime. I will, because there's going to be a second season. But I was just like, okay, that's a really cool arc climax, and then I'm like, fuck, I'm busy. You know? Like, the way at least Slime was structured was like, oh, you've done a really big payoff, and then you're moving to something else, but I don't care as much right this second, right? Because it didn't necessarily keep dragging me into the hook. So it really depends on the format of the show, but I will give most things a chance. I like to experience them for myself. I don't like people to taint my expectations. And generally when I come out of stuff, I go, Like, that's how I felt about, we talked about this before, about Rise of Skywalker. I was just like, whatever, dude. Whatever. I had fun. And if you don't mind me tangenting about Final Fantasy VII for a second, Lucky, I gotta be honest,
Wait a minute, if we're talking like Final Fantasy III classes, isn't the warrior like actually kind of useless in late game because like other classes can do everything he can but more?
Ouch.
Yeah, actually, yeah, that's right. The red mage can do like basically everything the warrior can and more. You just downgraded me.
Well, yeah, the red mage's utility.
I'm gonna end you, Loth,
because we get to fight things, and then also, by the way, not kidding. Omega was such a dork that in our because I was homeschooled, I called my school the School of the Red Mage because I was just like, we need a fake name for where you're going to school. So I was like, I don't know, I'll be Red Mage, whatever. Ice 9. I noticed how most people do the subtle italics. Lucky types in all caps. Lucky will remember this. Lucky disapproved, -10.
Well, that's because Lucky is just actually yelling that in chat. Lucky's the only person who can get away with like constantly using caps because that's how I am.
But yeah, so about Final Fantasy VII, I gotta be honest, kids. Haven't played the remake yet. Don't know if there's some tonal changes and stuff, I'm sure, but they make sense in the overall. But if you actually think about the narrative of Final Fantasy VII, it's like overall, if you look at it like at 100% backlog, it's not that what's the word I want to use? Cohesive, not that concentrated. Cause yeah, they're just posting lucky quotes and stuff now.
Are they going to post the one where I almost fell on my chair?
Well, okay, so Axe, that's the thing. Most people probably remember most of the major beats of Final Fantasy VII, but there's a lot of shit in between those. Like, okay, you leave Midgar. What do you do next? You do a flashback, and then what do you do from there? There's a lot of shit in the game, some of which you may remember, if you've played it. Like, some of them are pretty iconic, like the Midgar Zalam scene. is pretty, I think, a big deal. But, like, there's a lot of game and a lot of wandering through the world map until you get to the next section, which is Junon. And then you go to Costa del Sol, and then you wander around in the woods, and there's some golden saucer in there, and there's a lot of important stuff happens on that second continent, but you don't remember the order. Literally, by the way, because we had this conversation weeks ago in Discord, because one of the trailers may have suggested that they might go all the way up to, like, Cosmo Canyon. Like, there's no way, dude. Cosmo Canyon's way late in the game. So we actually asked the question, hey, when the fuck was Cosmo Canyon? It's between Golden Saucer and Nibelheim, by the way. But, it's real deep in there. So, you know, like, the game is very long and very spaced out. And I'm like, there's no way they can they're remaking it. There's literally no way they can do the game the same. It's not possible. Like, people won't put up with that shit.
Oh, okay. That's weird, but okay.
What's up?
Okay, so I'm actually popping up on my Final Fantasy VII. I was like, I should probably start loading this shit.
Yeah, it's like 80 million, gigs.
Okay, so the Let's Work is weird. Okay, so I got my mini sound book, and they gave me the Steelbook and then a regular version of the game. The Steelbook is empty, by the way.
So they gave you the Steelbook just to display it, but they also gave you the regular ass case? Thanks, guys.
Hang on.
Take some pictures of this. Take a picture, show it to me. I'll make it the background image for this. The one that's not about Final Fantasy VIIR. But yeah, so I'm just saying, like, 7 is a game that has very, very, very good beats, right? Like, it's got a lot of really good moments. Everybody remembers the big iconic moments. It has some big iconic twists, most of which people who have already played it will know, or some people who haven't played it, but you might not. So I won't necessarily throw this out. I know that Rogue Robin just said that they haven't actually played it yet, so you really should. You can probably get the original on Steam or on PSN for pretty cheap. If you don't want to jump straight to playing the remake. But, because that won't cover the whole thing, obviously. But, it's, like I said, it's very big and very spacious, and quite frankly, there were already, like, I remember there was already stuff in the game that, like, was unclear and was ambiguous and was slightly confusing about why you did stuff when, right? Like, you spend a lot of the game just vaguely wandering around looking for the Man in Black, which is a great tune from the OST, Chasing the Man in Black. Yeah, I see now. It's pretty weird.
I've been bamboozled, I think.
Well, you have the disc in your actual copy, right?
Yeah, and I'm probably just gonna keep it in the fucking box when I'm not playing it, so... Okay?
It's weird. We'll see what happens when I get my copy. With Persona 5R, which I do want to talk about a little bit later. I will let Anime get through his anime list, though. He wrote notes for this show. I want him to actually hit all his notes. But I got the Steelbook for that, which is pretty. But, yeah, I don't know. I'm just like, I was super skeptical when people were like, oh no, they're gonna ruin the narrative. I'm like, what are they gonna ruin? Like, what can they ruin about Final Fantasy VII? They're not gonna change the big moments you remember, probably, because those are the big iconic moments. They could, just for the sake of keeping the twist fresh, but I don't think they will, you know? Just because that doesn't make sense. But they could, but a lot of the stuff is just like, it's all just connective tissue, and so I'm like, I'm here clicking and tapping.
I'm writing a confused Twitter tweet.
So save those images and assets in case I want to use them as the bed image for this. I'll probably use the close-up so Lucky's knee and his shoes aren't in there. Oh, but that's got his energy. I might, his monster. I might trim it up then. I'll save both and I'll make a decision after the show's done. His sweet sailor mouse. Popeye the Sailor Mouse. Well, also, actually brought up another good point that I was going to mention, which is that also, the narrative is already quote-unquote ruined because we've had, oh my gosh, how many years has it been?
Like 22? It
came
out in 23. It came out in 97.
Yeah, so we're in the year 2020, so it's 20... They had 23 years of the compilation of Final Fantasy VII to come out and confuse the shit out of everybody. Honestly, that's the thing I hope they do in Remake, is they actually which they've already did in the demo. We already saw them reference the fucking Avalanche phone game, of all things, which only came out in Japan. It was just a side mention, but they mentioned it, so it's like, no, I want them to actually integrate all this bullshit. Like, fuck, dude, give me some fucking hints that Deep Ground exists, because I'm the only dude that likes and remembers Dirge of Cerberus. That's probably not true, but hey, I know. I like Dirge of Cerberus though. Oh, that goes back though to our commentary about like like not necessarily being super deep. Like I remember, I think it was like an X-Play review of Dirge of Cerberus was like, yeah, Dirge of Cerberus sucks because in all these cutscenes you do all this cool stuff, and then on the ground you can like jump and shoot, and I'm like, yeah, I don't care about that. I'm still Vincent, so it's still cool when he does cool cutscene stuff, and I actually enjoy jump and shoot roll. So like to me, I didn't feel the disconnect between, oh my gosh, he looks so cool in cutscenes, I can't do that in my game. I don't know, maybe I was just, as a smaller child, I was just like more accepting of like, yeah, no, that's just how games work. It was the fucking PS2 era.
Yeah, it's all like, shoot, like, since when did anyone in a video game back then could do what they did in a cutscene?
Maybe Kingdom Hearts 2, but
maybe
that was. I think that was a big leap though in like cinematic action RPG scenes was KH2, right? Like, blending gameplay and QuickTime events with your mobility.
Oh shit! This has a data disc and a fucking play disc.
Oh, it's like, ooh, that's great. Oh, that's a real retro, buddy. I'm getting flashbacks now. Fucking Otacon's gonna fucking call you and be like, Snake, you've got to put the second disc in. And then in Metal Gear Solid 4, he calls you and he's like, Snake, you've got to put the second disc in. And you're like, Otacon, what the fuck are you talking about? He's like, oh no, we're on Blu-rays now. Look at the storage space. Look how fucking big this data is, Snake. You could fit a whole game on one Blu-ray. Never mind that you still had to install the game in parts. Oh, Kojima. I hope that rumor that Sony's gonna fucking buy Metal Gear Solid off Konami is right.
I guess I gotta delete one game. Now, what game do I...
Oh man, I'm gonna have to fucking do that. I think I had to make space for P5R. I'll have to figure... It'll probably be Star Wars Battlefront 2 because that game is unreasonably large. Like, I think the full size of VII Remake is like, what, 100 gigs, everything considered?
I think so, yeah.
My current file size of Battlefront 2 is, I think, like 110 or more gigs. It's big. Okay. I don't know why the fuck it's so big. It's probably all the goddamn skins and characters, but it's fucking big.
Oh, by the way, actually, I'll be Metal Gear Solid with the fucking back cover, so I can see Meryl's code. So, haha.
Yeah, I have the original one. What do they do in, like, remakes and stuff? He came up with a different excuse.
I think so, yeah. But anyway, I'm excited. Like, I don't know. I'm starting to get a little bit more energy. I'll probably have dinner and maybe I'll get to it and do some streaming. Or I'll just play it on my own and say, fuck you guys. I don't know.
I've been doing that with, well, I'm going to share this because it makes me happy. I'm going to post it in, Let's Talk.
Oh.
Because it is not sass about that design, and also it reminds me of a thing I like. But,
yeah, that is a thing I like too.
But yeah, so that's probably, like, that's kind of where I fell on, like, P5R, where I, like, played the first 3 hours with the audience, which means I didn't leave the tutorial. And then, not that I could have, because YouTube and my internet was really fucking up last stream day. By the way, that's why I missed, I had to, like, switch to internal Jackbox streaming, because I could not connect to YouTube for the life of me. But, like, I thought about going, oh, maybe I'll play more P5R. I've played, like, 10 hours since the last time I streamed, because I want to actually get through the game. And even then, I don't think on Tuesday I was done with the first palace.
I can't remember her name off the top of my head, but she's from Psycho Pass. She's basically the criminal mind doctor.
Yeah, she's one of the science ladies, the tech ladies.
Yeah, I can't remember her name.
But she's smoking all the time, and also, if I remember correctly, she was very gay.
Yeah, well, you definitely caught her with, the girl who used to be a guitarist. I can't remember her bassist. Played the string instrument, but it was too rebellious. Man, I should rewatch Psycho Pass.
Yeah, the first
Psycho Pass season 3 is on Amazon. I'm like, do I want to watch this?
I don't know. That's the thing. That's the reason why I haven't looked at it, because I'm like, I don't know if I want to watch it, because I really don't want to watch the second season of Psycho Pass. It's not great.
Yeah, no, it's on Amazon. So I'm just like,
Yeah, it's kind of talking about like Cyberpunk and stuff. Really?
Oh,
ooh, Devilish is saying it's really good. Okay, I'll have to check it out. The first season of Psycho Pass is fucking iconic. It's great.
It is great.
It really scratches that cyberpunk detective story itch while being very self-aware, very biting social commentary on Japan, and like actually doing some serious, gosh darned, like world building and criminology, which to me was always great. yes, there were some Urobuchi gotcha deaths, but most of them were important. Like, when people died, it mattered. The second season kind of forgot that rule and just started killing people for no gosh darn reason because, I don't know, it's Psycho-Pass. I guess people explode into Gibbs. That's what you're here for, right?
You're like, no, I'm not.
No, I'm here for that guy, Makishima. I'm here for him to sit and talk with the eye patch guy about fucking Philip K. Dick. Well, there are a lot of weirdness in the second season that we don't need to get into because I'm sure think we've gotten into it before. But the problem was that he's the first villain, Makishima, iconic. Like I said, he's great in so many ways. But they tried really hard to make the second guy like him again, but also he's just not that interesting. And again, also, like I think Axe said, he breaks some of the rules of the system, but not in like a cool classic sci-fi way. Like, if you read a lot of classic sci-fi novels, like a lot of Isaac Asimov stuff was like, okay, we've got the rules. How do we subvert the rules? How do we? The second season more is like, we need to explain why we have a villain. So, he just does stuff, I guess. Yeah. Anyway, yeah, the third season is apparently pretty good, so I'll have to look at it sometime when I feel up to it. When I feel when I feel spiritually prepared.
Like, I still gotta finish Blade of the Immortal on and watch Babylon. I heard Babylon was really good too.
Like, I think of Psycho-Pass like almost like a new season of Psycho-Pass, especially almost similarly like if somehow they made a second season of Devilman, right? You would be like, oh fuck, I need to mentally prepare myself and spiritually prepare myself to watch this show.
Also, I need to watch Vinland Saga too. Oh, the movie. Fuck. I did watch the Psycho-Pass movie, but I don't remember where I watched it.
I don't think I watched it because it came out in a weird time and it was just like, whatever. I'll be sure to check them out. Because I fucking love... Man, I cannot tell you how much I fucking love Psycho-Pass is really, really good, and it's really, really in my wheelhouse. Like, Lucky loves isekai. Omega will watch anything that's urban fantasy or, like, police procedural, especially if it's, like, some kind of fantastical police procedural.
Why haven't you watched Copcraft yet?
I've been busy. Is that on... I still have no good... I have a lot of shit on my Funimation queue that God knows when I'm ever going to get into.
I guess I got to give you my fucking Funimation account so you can get on the weird stuff.
No, I got not Funimation, Crunchyroll.
Yeah.
That's the thing I don't have anything for, and I refuse to deal with their ad system. It's real bad, kids. I've said it before. Anyway, Lucky, are there any more anime on your anime list?
Let's see here. So, okay, I was talking about the isekais, Princess Connect Redive, and the Eighth Son. Are you kidding me? The Eighth Son, as I said, standard-looking isekai, looks okay, so, I mean, that's a pass for me. Princess Connect Redive, have not watched. The last one on my list was actually the fucking Dark Horse. It's called Wave Listen to Me. So, I saw this on Funimation, and I was just like, what is this? Because Funimation is kind of fucky. It's really fucky. Sometimes it doesn't list descriptions, sometimes it randomly crashes, sometimes they give you click Japanese, it starts playing in English.
Their non-website apps are not very stable and very well polished.
Yeah. But, so I went into this like, I don't know what the fuck. So I picked it up, and it starts off with a woman in the woods doing a radio show while she gets chased by a bear. That's
okay.
Soon. And turns out that she is just putting on an act. And she is literally going nonstop. So, now this was interesting to me because me and you, we do a podcast. We basically almost do kind of a radio kind of thing. We're two guys in a mic who just constantly talk.
Yeah, internet radio.
Internet radio. So, immediately the presentation caught me. It's like, oh yeah, I do something akin to this. Let me watch this and find out. And basically, what happens is that it was in media res. Because then we go back to when she wasn't doing this gig. She was actually working at a curry store and had just gotten dumped by her boyfriend, and so got drunk and ranted at just some old dude she met at a bar, who recorded the conversation, and while she was drunk, got her to like sign a little thing that she wouldn't complain about whatever he used it for, and then played it on the radio. At which point, like, comedic hijinks ensue. She runs to the radio station. She does another on-air bit. It's pretty interesting. But it was interesting in the fact that, as I said, she's a complete amateur, and her only talent is that she can just talk and talk and talk without stuttering, stammering, or going over, and still have entertaining content. And I was just like, I want that. Like, I've gotten better about it nowadays, but like, I can't stop without sometimes like stammering over a word or saying or especially if I have to like stop my flow of conscience, or Omega stops and interrupts me for whatever goddamn reason. You can't see it, but I just glared at him. So, like, seeing something like that, where this is a complete amateur going on the radio and doing that thing and doing all this talking, and, something that's pretty entertaining, because I like how, like, no one is, like, talking about what we're talking about. They're all still on, like, Psycho-Pass and shit. So, Wave Listen to Me is basically a comedy around a fast-speaking woman with a quick wit and poor brain-to-mouth edit function that gets basically tricked into working as a radio personality. And, like, I don't know if it's just because I'm in the same circle as it, or if it's just the anime itself, but it's honestly making me wonder, like, what I'm doing here on this show, and, like, if I am, like, doing the best that I can. So I kind of want to just keep watching it just to see and compare myself to her. Because I think that's one of those another things in animes that people can get into. It's how you can relate to the characters and whatnot. And because I am someone who does an internet radio show, I can relate to the main character of this. And who knows, maybe I can come out with something a little bit, better. And yes, Wave has non-CG bears. 10 out of 10. Yeah. I remember the Golden Kamui CG bear.
Yeah, I do too. Oh boy. Oh, anime studios. You guys really... I know production is hard sometimes, but guys, really think about it. Think carefully before you use that CG and make sure it looks good. Plan ahead.
Anyway, Meg, you mind if I take a quick break?
No, it's fine.
All right.
We'll take a quick intermission then.
All right, I'll be back in a minute.
Restart. Okay, we're back. Hi, audience.
Welcome back. Sorry. Had to step away there for a moment.
Fuck. There was something I was going to say when we got back, but I forgot to.
Oh, no.
Fine. It wasn't a big deal.
All right, well, I think I'm done talking about anime, unless there's anything else you wanted.
No, I haven't watched anything.
All right, so then I want to move into video. We talked a little bit about the Final Fantasy VII Remake. Now, something else I want to talk about, because we are in these trying times, in our Discord, we've been, almost nightly, I want to say, been setting up Jackbox.
Yeah, in fact, while you were out, Loth asked me if after editing I would be down to Jackbox, and I'm like, I have no idea because I don't know. We're only at an hour 40, so I don't know how long the episode will be done before it's done, and then they have to edit.
Mm-hmm.
So I'm like, I don't know, dude. Also, I might want to do some other stuff that we'll be talking about, but yeah, we're Jackboxing a lot.
Yeah, and I actually picked up one. I think it was Party Pack 5, and I learned real quickly the way for Lucky to I have to be absolutely lewd or absolutely brutal, and it seems to be working out.
Yeah, in general, if I wanted to talk about, especially how our community, I think, has learned to Jackbox, is the thing in general is callbacks are always good. If you can make a callback work, that's funny.
Mm-hmm.
But the general is you want to, obviously you need to have a sense of humor, but you either want to go for the outrageous stuff that people remember, or you want to just, like I said, do something that people aren't expecting, which lewd can fall under.
Yeah. Oh no, I'm pretty sure Axe is talking about when I said that the books that Axe relied about him reading was what was it?
Empathy for Dummies or something.
Yeah, it was Empathy for like beginners, like how to understand emotions or something. He's probably still heard about that.
Well, so we discovered that in FFVIIR, there's a special mode that's only in the Party Pack, and I think FFVIIR is in Party Pack 4, so that wasn't one of the ones we played with you. But it's, yeah, FFVIIR Forget About You, where you can do a mode where it asks you questions about yourself and other people lie about you. That's fucking hilarious if you know people.
Mm-hmm.
It's kind of like Role Models in that way, which is on Party Pack 6, which I own. I should make sure to play Role Model with you sometime. That'd be funny.
Probably.
Role Models is the game, if you don't know, where you pick a category like I remember one. I think it was like fictional vehicles or famous vehicles, and then you put everybody who's playing in one of the categories. So like, let's say I'm playing with Lucky, and I have to choose between, okay, is Lucky the Ecto-1, the DeLorean, the Oscar Mayer Wienermobile, you know?
Ooh, excuse me.
And then after everyone has decided, whoever got the most votes for what category goes there, sometimes you come up with some very interesting interpretations of people. It's a fun game to play with people you know.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. But, like, so Lucky was basically on full on blast, because honestly, I don't think I'm really that funny unless I'm yelling at someone for some reason.
I think you're funnier than you think you are, but that is definitely Lucky yelling is definitely a theme of Lucky humor.
Mm. Apparently also Lucky fucks. That comes up a lot now. That's
FFVIIR's fault, but it stuck.
It makes me laugh.
Has that cadence, so now it's just stuck in there that Lucky fucks.
I love it. So I picked up my pack and we played. I can't remember the name, but we've had fucking mecha rap battles. I was like,
Mad vs. City.
Yeah, Mad vs. City. And honestly, like, I really like that one because it wasn't so much of you making up your own raps to do battle with. Because let me tell you, sometimes how the Microsoft Sam reads it off hurts your soul a little bit inside.
Yeah, you have to kind of understand the voice software. I warned everybody before we started because I've seen people play it before. It was like, do not use quotation marks. It will fuck that up.
Yeah, but and sometimes their prompts are really weird.
Yeah, I mean they're still a Jackbox game, so they still have that kind of Mad Libs Jackboxy type humor where it's like, like there was one that's like something. It was something about a goose. I don't remember the analogy, but it was like they clearly replaced the goose. And you were like, that's dumb. It's goose. But that's how Jackbox works, right? Like, it's like, they're obviously trying to make you sound weird by replacing your thing, whatever.
Yeah.
I also really like Mad vs. City, but apparently I'm bad at it. Or at least people don't like me in it.
Well, that was the other thing about it, is not just Mike Bryant, the props, is when you're seeing everyone else, you're all like, oh, damn! Or, what the fuck? Like, it was like just as thrilling to be in the audience as it was to actually be the participant. Like, and there were some people who were just dishing out hot fire left and right.
Didn't I talk about slapping you back to Australia or something? Like, I tried to go pretty hardball on Loth, and people still didn't necessarily go for it. I think the closest was you versus me was one round, and that was like 3-2. It went to you, but it was like one of the tightest rap battles.
Oh no, one of the best rap battles was Loth just completely dumb.
Yeah.
Damn! It was a...
Well, so... That's the interesting thing about Mad vs. City. It's usually a complete slaughter. Either because somebody completely fucked it up, like one of our members, Proto. Proto is not a native English speaker. So there were a couple of times when he tried to make some rhymes that don't work in Microsoft Sam. Like, that's just not how the phenoms work. I think Loth might have also did you have a dud rap? I think there was a point where you tried to rhyme something with something and it didn't work in normal-ass English, but when you said it out loud, you said the two words exactly the same, which was funny because of accident. Yeah. So that's part of the fun, but it can also be challenging. But if the moment you have like a weak line or you lose the rap, or God forbid you tell it to rap for you because it will punish you by giving you some fucking nonsense. Yeah. It's like Quiplash. If you've played Quiplash, don't ever use the safety quit button. Because it's just fucking nonsense. The only way you'll ever win is if your opponent completely biffs it. They just fumble the ball. Mm. So usually one person gets a really strong line in, or strong 2 lines, and then that's over. And I've said that personally, I think it favors the person who goes second because they're closer in the mind. But if you have a weak second rap, you will still lose to the first rap. Yeah, it's a great game though. I love it.
A great game. Well, we also played Split. What was it? Split
the Room. Yes, that I did really good at, and I also enjoyed.
Yeah,
I think I won both rounds of that.
I think so.
I haven't seen Split the Room played a lot, but it's Twilight Zone themed. But Split the Room is like, okay, we're gonna give you a hypothetical scenario question. You have to make it so that more people are divided on the issue. Mm-hmm. You don't want to make it so that it's overwhelmingly people don't do it or people do it, right?
Yeah.
Like, I think I still won that game. I'm not sure how, but one of my questions was, like, it was jokey, but they asked me, like, you end up in an alternate universe where everything is slightly different than your own. You can return home, but you will lose the ability to X. And I was like, fuck, I can't say like fly because nobody will want to go home, even if their universe is slightly weird. If you can fly, you wouldn't want to go home. Same if I was like, fuck anybody you like, transform, whatever. Like, so I joked and went with play a children's card game because I was like, okay, you're stuck in a Yu-Gi-Oh universe now. If you go home, you can never play Yu-Gi-Oh that way again. But it's weird here. That would probably be the thing. Like, you would have to like figure out a way to like establish that it's like a fictional universe. That reminds me of a question I had in one of my literature classes, which was like, talk about your heroes, talk about literary heroes you like. Whose world would you want to live in? And I was like, well, I don't know. I really like the Dresden Files. I would not want to be Harry Dresden for a day. Maybe one of his normal ass days, right? Oh, hold on, I think my Discord's lagging out a little bit.
A little bit, I think.
Yeah, I caught up back to you. I was just saying, I wouldn't want to be Harry Dresden for a day.
No.
Maybe on one of his normal ass days, but the days where he's on page, those days suck. Fuck those days.
Yep.
Whew. I've actually started seriously listening to Summer Night again now that I'm playing P5R, and it's just like, man, boy, this starts fun.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, Peace Talks. They were trying to get the trailer
on top of that,
up some levels.
Oh yeah, it did.
And they did the rewatch thing. That was so cool. They talked about because as you don't know, Peace Talks had a live action trailer. It was directed by, I believe it was directed by Priscilla, who I think is Jim's editor for the series.
I think
so. Obviously, she's a big fan. So there are a lot of small touches in it which you don't necessarily pick up on. Also, hold on, I'm gonna disconnect, reconnect really quick because Discord's being very laggy.
It's returned.
Yes, sorry, I cut out for a second because Discord was being really laggy, and there we go. Okay, it was like you have no ping. I'm like, that's not right. The beautiful microphone will pick up everything, and the audio version is just a little awkward for the Discord conversation.
Yeah, I know. Basically, once Lucky got his computer fixed, now we have StudiOmega.
I'm lost in the time stream. I haven't posted that audio yet, but we tried to game on Wednesday, and I got caught in a time loop hard. Got caught in time space hard. All right, but we were talking about Jackbox stuff.
Yeah, I'm checking about it. So the last thing we played was Patently Stupid, and
sorry, it's it was mostly the second thing, but we got a little crazy on Patently Stupid.
I'm okay with that.
No, it was a good game. It's a game I'm really glad is not recorded, even though we posted the inventions to our channel page because of some stuff that happened in it. But
I think I threw I drew a fucking anal fucking tail thing. I drew a fucking cock case.
I mean, I literally drew a dragon dildo, so I have nothing to stand on. But
yeah, so it's just like, yeah, I can.
But
see
that's
why.
because somebody picked for the final prompt one about fucking. So.
Oh yeah, that was me. I picked the one about fucking because of course I would.
Oh yeah, of course. Yeah, so we've got them. So the first one was just random ones. That was the one where I drew be a man-child. The Bago for you. We did a lot of the stop.
Oh yeah, I think it was usually about being a fucking furry or something like that too. It's like, just don't.
Well, we didn't record those, but that was the final question of the first game of Patently Stupid we did, which was like, I want to get into the furry fandom slowly. My drawing was magical ponies.
It was a solid. Oh no, my favorite answer in that was Province's Tales. I was like, yes.
Yeah, I can see it. There's a lot of them.
But someone was just like, just don't stop.
But that was a funny one that was probably a very popular tweet for us. After the fact was that I don't know. It just came up that we were like, we miss voice or something.
Yeah.
And then of course that happened to just happen literally as we started a game and I was writing prompts. So and one of the prompts I got was, I really miss blank. And I'm like, well, I'm going to write Voice of St. Chords here. And then you got that prompt and picked it, because of course you did. And
yeah, I did.
Your drawing is just, we put it back in the fucking closet. But that got a lot of activity. That tweet has 7 retweets and 19 likes, with a reply from. I think he was one of the ones. Yeah, he retweeted it also, but he also replied to it.
He replied with freedom.
Yeah, but anyway, so Patently Stupid was a really, really good It's a good game because it wants you to draw, but it wants you also to present, right?
Yeah, because you actually have to sell your product, which honestly is part of the fun.
Yeah, it's like one I don't think. Well, I haven't played it with you. I don't know if you've played it with the guys, but it's kind of like the one that's in 6, Joke Boat, which is stand up. The formula is basically patently stupid, but instead of inventions, it's stand up comedy.
Oh, okay.
So like they'll give you a joke or a setup where you have to like pick topics and then come up with punchlines, and you then you present them to the audience, which you can read them out. So it's kind of got a similar vibe. I know that some people though are kind of, because other people control it, Joke Boat can get kind of I believe our community has had to put a ban on the use of gacha as a topic because people will type it too much. So you can be forced to pick nothing but gacha as the subject for your jokes.
Yeah, I can see that.
And honestly, everybody needs those little house rules. I didn't play this with you, but I played, I think a couple nights later, I played Party Pack 4 with the guys, and we did some Fibbage 3. We got you in for that Fibbage round, but then we played some other games like Monster Seeking Monster, which is super fun, and you'll like it because you get to secretly be a monster, but also to quote-unquote date people.
Yeah!
So I'll describe it for Lucky and for the audience. So the way Monster Seeking Monster works is, it's kind of a secret role game, but it's also a matching game. So basically, there's, I think, 7 players, and then the audience gets to be a player.
Mm-hmm.
You are a monster at the start, so the game tells you what your secret monster power is. That usually means you get bonus score stuff, like the first round, I was the monster hunter, and I was told to hunt a specific monster, the ventriloquist puppet, who turned out to be VII. But mine was like, you'll get a bonus heart at the end of the game for every time you matched with the monster you're looking for. And then you get to the talk phase, where the game gives you 4 fucking text messages to talk to all the other players to see if you match with somebody that night. And then at the end of the timer, you get to choose who you want to try and date. And if you both click date on you get a match, both players get a heart.
Oh, that's nice.
If they match with somebody else, you get rejected, which kind of screws the whole thing up, but can be really funny. The important thing is that the game shows what your messages was when you make a match, which is pretty fucking hilarious. Because there was a lot of soft RP jokes, because I tried to write Dragon Girl Omega, but it didn't take the Omega symbol, because obviously I couldn't fit Dragon Girl and Omega in there. So there was a lot of jokes about me being a dragon.
So you didn't go with I guess people wouldn't have understand that.
Yeah. So we do a lot of funny names, a lot of people do, but it's also important to try and remember who's who sometimes.
Oh, yeah.
So there's a lot of that funny, and then it kind of, as the nights go on, it eventually reveals who's what monster and what powers they are, which can lead to very interesting things. Because, the vampire is basically an STD reference. Everybody you date with becomes a vampire, and everybody you date with becomes the vampire. And at the end of the game, you get bonus points for how many vampires there are. There was one round where literally everybody became a vampire, and we were like, how the fuck did that happen? The Mummy has a similar move. They curse whoever they date, and at the end of the game, they steal half a heart, unless every player gets the curse, in which place they break it.
Oh.
And it's got lots of little stuff like that.
That sounds fun.
Yeah, we should definitely... One, just because I think monster dating aesthetics is perfectly in Lucky's wheelhouse.
Hey.
But also, yeah, it seems fun. Though I believe the guys played it with less players and said that it was actually, really interesting with few players.
Oh, interesting.
That was just a joke, Loth, okay? But also, the second time, the second round, I was the Two-Face creep, which, the Two-Face gets a bonus heart if they reject somebody, but they get a date that night. So I was basically constantly trying to two-time everybody every round, and it did not work out for me.
Oh.
But there was a lot of funny jokes about completely fucking over Loth. Loth got cucked a lot.
Poor Loth.
I don't remember what monster you were both games, Loth. The first game VII was the ventriloquist puppet, which was weird.
Mm-hmm.
One, because it was VII, so it was like, yeah, puppet dick. And I'm like, yeah, sure, whatever. Whatever, you're my target, so.
Constant wood.
Yeah, there's a lot of that going on in the chat messages.
Of course there is.
Oh, that was right. That was the Wednesday. That was Wednesday, because that was the day that we cut our game short because I was sleepy and couldn't focus. Marth was in a lot of those games, which is pretty funny because he's not very talkative. So watching him try to fake flirt on monster text messaging was pretty funny.
All right, but we're definitely going to be up for more Jackbox in the future. If not tonight, maybe tomorrow, and if not
Yeah, I wonder what's a good rotation. I played 4 last, but Lucky didn't get in.
I don't know.
We'll figure something out. Like I said, it's already 9:30 down here, so I don't think I'll be doing it anymore tomorrow.
Well, actually, if not tomorrow, then maybe the day after. You never know.
Well, yeah, we also don't know. Like, usually we get started pretty early tomorrow, unless you got something else. Unless you got something else coming up.
Nah, I don't know. I'm tired. But because I'm tired, I think we're done talking about Jackbox. Unless you got anything else you want to add?
No, I'm good.
All right, then I'm gonna actually skip over this because I was doing this alphabetically, but I'm gonna skip over this because we're probably gonna talk a lot about some Persona here in a minute. But I'm gonna skip over to Sekiro. So I was able to stream Thursday. Hooray! And it actually saved. Double hooray! And there was actually a lot of engagement from the audience. I got a couple people who played it on the reg. They know what was up. And they hung out with me for, I think it was like 5 hours?
Yes, I'm looking at it right now. It is 5 hours, 40 minutes.
Mm-hmm.
With pretty typical, decent views and engagement for a Lucky stream.
I didn't really get advice as so much as people would randomly tell me hints. And I'd choose whether or not if I wanted to follow them. Yeah, that was something that people did. I basically went into a cave, and I was like, hey, what the fuck is down there? It's some bright dude. And everyone's like, no, don't do it.
No,
don't
you
do
fool.
it. And at that point, it's just one of those moments of like, if I go in there and die horribly, that's just going to be my own damn fault. So I'm just going to follow this. There was also a couple other times where they gave me hits, and I just flat out ignored them. Another time, they gave me a hint, and I had no idea what they were talking about, but somehow I still ended up at the place they meant. Apparently, Lucky. Apparently, there's this boss fight that I completed real quickly and real easily because, the boss fight is basically you have to find and kill these 4 monkeys, and they're flighty little buggers. One's invisible. They go all places, and they have these 4 rooms around the area that you're supposed to like try to capture them so you can stun them or something or whatever. I'm not sure because I didn't actually do that. I just chased them and stabbed them, and it ended like I don't even think the whole fight like took like 5 minutes. It was just like I remember I went down the hallway, and I went into this water-filled room, and I was turning around looking at the room. I was like, oh, check out this room, and I saw some golden footprints. I was like, what the fuck was that? And so I sliced it, and it was a monkey. And then the health went down by a quarter, and I was like, oh, I just gotta kill some fucking monkeys? Easy. And so, like, next 5 minutes, I went around chasing all the monkeys, killed them, and people are like, you just unga-bunga the fucking boss. And I was like, oh. Yeah, like, Golf's talking about how, like, some people spent, like, an hour on that fight. It even gives you mechanics
to... You thought I would do the dumb puzzle shit, but no, I, Lucky, just stabbed those monkeys.
Yeah. And, like, honestly, it was a really weird feeling. It's like, I'm starting to accept... Yeah, I brute forced the puzzle, which I honestly feel a little guilty about. Because, like I said, when someone puts effort into, making an experience, I don't want to just completely throw that work out the window, which is basically what I feel like I did. Like, the option was available for me to just stab it, but, like, I was just all like, nope, sword time. But, like, and other things, like, people are actually remarking, it's like, no, you're actually getting through some of these boss fights, like, really well. Like, of course, you're not, like, top-tier player, but for, like, what we see, you're not bad. And I'm just all like, Lucky, like, doesn't feel comfortable with praise. But, like I said, like, we got into a good groove. I think I beat 3 bosses?
Hey.
Yeah, because I beat, like...
You're a cool guy. Thumbs up.
No, don't... Stop that! Fuck! I'm gonna ride on the floor.
Oh no, floor, Lucky. The power of the floor.
Axe, you see that line? You see that line? I want you to reread that line and tell me if that's something you actually needed to... So, what was I saying? Oh yeah. So, turns out, I do not hate Sekiro as much as I initially did. I still have issues with the camera angles, still have issues with lock-on, stealth takedowns, and extra bullshit, extra boss stages, but I am starting to have actual fun. Like I said, I am still in this part where I have no idea where I'm going. Like, honestly, this is probably another one of the things that, this was something that the chat actually had to tell me to do, is I actually had to get back to the top of Asahina Castle. Because before, I think this was back on the second stream, before I started fighting Genichiro, I had gotten all the way through the Senpo Temple to the boss fight there before fighting him. So basically, I had to go backtrack and go fight the Genichiro before I had to go back to the temple. So they were telling me, oh yes, you'll have to make this long and dangerous journey through the temple. I was like, I can just fast travel there. Boom. And apparently when I was doing that, before I got done with that, I found another location I needed to go to, called the Sunken Valley. I'm like, hey, what's down here? Oh shit, all these people have guns! And that's actually the area I'm supposed to be in. So, and I've encountered Big White Snake again. Apparently I can stab it in the head. I'm like, no, I don't want to. It's just living its big snake life. I did have, lucky as definitely sound, I do not like going into deep dark holes. I think one of my best moments is me with the wolf just standing over a ledge, and I'm just going, I don't wanna. I'm trying to psych myself up to go into this hole because, like I said, even though I think I have vitality 14 and attack power 5, I'm actually starting to body a lot of enemies now. But that's the thing with From Software. Something is just gonna gank you out of nowhere, and your life is over. And if I can't see what's happening, that just means it's that much more likely to happen. So I'm just like, ah. But I went in there and I got things done, and I said, we're making progress. I think people are still interested in seeing me stream it. So who knows? I don't know, I'm really torn, because I want to play Final Fantasy VII, but I'm not to stream it. As I said, our streams do okay. I mean, we get people, they comment. Mm-hmm. But I don't know if Final Fantasy VII is a game that people want to spend a lot of time with, because, there's a lot of people getting their own copies. Everyone, since it's a new game, everyone else is doing their own streams and whatnot. So I don't know. Maybe I just play Final Fantasy VII on my own time and just continue streaming Sekiro so people can hear me getting mad and yelling and cursing camera angles. So I don't know. I don't know. I feel like I have to make a decision here pretty soon, because if I don't, I'm just gonna start 7 and I'm just gonna be like, whatever.
Well, you could always risk asking the audience.
I don't like asking the audience.
I know. You gotta be
the audience always goes for whatever makes me suffer.
Well, okay, maybe that's a you thing. But in general, the audience is kind of, because it's you get some people, you get some stuff in, but sometimes it doesn't really seem like it, it's always a chance, right, that you're not necessarily getting a reward for the risk, as it were. Not that it's really risky to ask the audience, but, their attention, doesn't always feel like they... So, obvious, the vocal part of the audience isn't all the audience, I guess is what I'm getting at.
Yeah.
So, you can get some enthusiasm from the audience, and then it's just like, oh, well, this didn't go any better, despite the engagement in the poll, it didn't really do anything different.
In our streams, we usually have between 7 to 20 people. Mm-hmm. I want to say majority of them don't comment. I'd say about maybe I'd say a majority.
He has 7 to 20 people.
And this is 7 to 20 people out of currently 2,400 subscribers. So I'm like, that's not even 1% of our subscription base. So no, I don't necessarily feel that I'm that entertaining. So yeah, so I'm just do I want to put in the effort? Because I will say, I do notice occasionally when I stream that we get a couple new subscribers out of it. But I never know who or whatever and stuff. And I don't know if
there is also obviously sometimes it seems like some people, we even have regulars who don't always catch all the streams right away because YouTube whatevers or whatever. We kind of work on trying to get everybody in there, but it doesn't always catch attention.
Yeah. Well, you know what? I think I'll just start Final Fantasy VII, and I'll ask, and I'm pretty sure I'm not going to be too biffed if I have to start over if everyone wants to see me play for them, or they just watch me play for whatever. But I'm going to play it. And
I am 25 hours into P5R. I'm probably not streaming it next week either.
But as I said, speaking of P5R, let's get some time about that. So, Sekiro...
Well, also, I should mention my copy of Final Fantasy VII is supposed to arrive Tuesday. I played the demo for the audience on Discord just as a test thing, like a little Discord-only stream. I am definitely not streaming that game because I do not want to have to put up with you guys when I play Final Fantasy VII Remake. Okay, thanks, bye. Mic drop.
Yeah. So, as I said, I'm enjoying Sekiro more. I think I can enjoy it as long as I have an audience. Someone to talk to.
That's fair. So we talked about genre earlier, right? And like kind of
Mhm.
finding the language of media. Games, because they're interactive, have this whole different dimension of like, are they enjoyable to play? And some experiences are like, you have this with movies and TV sometimes. Some experiences are only enjoyable with people, or they're more enjoyable with people.
Mhm.
I don't know if I'd want to go by myself necessarily to watch like any old play or a musical or something, but if there was like a showing of a presentation of like Cats, and I would be like, "You're lucky. Let's go watch Cats." We'd fucking go watch Cats.
Hell yeah, we go watch Cats.
So and there are some movies which are like, oh man, those. I've watched the D&D movies with people. They are really bad, but I have them on DVD, so that's a great party time. Get on the couch. We're gonna watch the Dungeons and Dragons movie with Jeremy Irons and his eyebrows.
Oh no!
Oh yeah, that's a move. Yeah, I can see that being like, oh, I much prefer to play, Sekiro with people. Some stuff you're almost like performing, as it were.
Later, Robin.
Yes, bye, Robin. Okay, let's actually talk about P5R.
Okay, so first off, I have to ask this question.
What's up?
So there's a feature I discovered in Mementos. Was this in the original game where you stroke the touchpad, your fucking controller purrs?
I do not recall that at all. I also didn't realize that was in Royal. I have to go try that now. Excuse me? No.
Yes.
But, It was in the original?
It was in the original?
I mean, like, X has a point. It was ported over to PS from PS3, kind of. But, yeah, I don't know. They might have still had some bonus features for the PS4 version. I'll have to try that next time. I didn't know you can honk. I didn't know you could make the cat bus purr.
Yeah, it was like, I didn't know if that was a Royal thing or I just didn't figure that out. Because I was in Mementos, my finger lightly brushed over the fucking touchpad, and I just hear I was like, what? Okay.
So I want to ask you a very important question, Lucky.
I'm
on your save, how many hours have you clocked?
Oh, shit. I don't know.
Yeah.
Hang on. Let me.
Right. Lucky will look it up. I will tell you, rounding, I'm at about 25 hours. I am almost done with the second palace.
I can tell you I'm in the second palace.
Okay.
I can tell you that much.
Not too far behind me. I mean, I've only talked to him like once. He's okay, but I'm sus of him. The new counselor. So, P5R is... We talked about this when it came out in Japan. The general consensus was it was exactly like what you'd expect from these second-level Persona games. Axe, I'm gonna call it on you. You just said you don't own Royal. How the fuck do you know? Don't say shit. Okay. But so it's got the typical features for a remake or whatever. Or not even a remake, whatever you call it, the updated releases, for Persona games.
I don't even know what to call that. It's
I don't know. They have
because we have
a thing Japan does sometimes,
we have remakes,
but like
we have re-release.
Yeah, that's the thing Japan has been doing with JRPGs for a long time. It's like the final mixes of Kingdom Hearts, but arguably I think Persona games may have been doing that longer. Like, at least since 3, they've been doing this process. 3 technically did it twice.
So, by the way, I'm at...
Yeah, you're right. It's basically the Game of the Year edition. Only even more so with Persona.
Yeah. I am at 19 hours and 59 minutes.
Alright, nice.
Level 16, Madarame's Palace.
Right.
It is 5:18, Wednesday.
I'm level 19. But that's just because I'm, like, at the end of that palace.
Yeah.
But yeah, so it does the typical thing where it's just the same game again, but it has some extra characters and some extra elements, and there is a third semester, but that's way at the end of the game, so neither Lucky or I is there, because that's the extra 10 to 20 hours at the end after you play through the game the first 100 hours, the regular time. So it'll be a while before we get there.
Like, so, right now, I'm gonna tell you right off the bat, like, I'm having, I'm not having a hard time with P5R right now, but I will tell you, I've been fast forwarding through a lot of stuff.
Having you played the game, like, I think 3 times total?
Yeah.
I played it through twice total to get all my stuff.
Mm-hmm.
You actually, I believe you did the thing I did with Persona 4, which was you deliberately took the early out and did the bad end so you could restart again.
Yeah.
Which is something I have done with Persona 4 before.
Mm-hmm.
But, just there's a lot of when you're not playing the game for the first time, there's a lot of dialogue just like, yeah, Kamoshida's dialogue's not really going to be different. I don't need to see this. Or especially with Madarame, I'm just like, yeah, dude, whatever. You're still a scumbag. This story is literally not different, and there's no reason for it to be. Like
in the school, like you got like some scenes with Kasumi showing up and like the counselor showing up and stuff like that, like stuff that was actually new. I was like, nope, wait, we got to read this.
Yes. And because that's the setup, that is new. That's new content. Once you leave there, I'm in the doldrums of just like, well, this is the same game.
Yeah.
So I have definitely been through like some major dialogue scenes which I've already seen like 3 times or whatever, and they're already awkward. I'm just like, yeah, I don't really need to go through the whole scene of An being like, "Doi ho hoi, I'm stripping. I'm not really, but I'm just like, yeah, whatever. Find the paint and give me the deadline. I have shit to do. Okay, put me back in this palace so I can finish this palace, so I can go talk to all my friends because my friends are piling up, dude. Fucking Ryuji wants to talk to me. The fucking counselor wants to talk to me. Death Lady wants to talk to me.
Hey, get that fucking medical punk doctor
but it
energy.
It does the usual thing where there's a couple new social links. I'm already got like first level of counselor, and he does stuff which I'm like, oh fuck, this is great. Like they did a good thing. I think they rebalanced all the confidence. Like baton passes in by default, and it's really really good.
Oh no, I don't have. If you can actually get it up to the 4th one, you just have maximum power, and your skill costs no anything. Just boom, like maximum power.
Yeah,
so the thing.
Well, that's okay that teacher got nerfed. Because they did a good thing. Like I don't have any access to Kawakami, but I also don't feel like I need her as much because the game lets you use your nighttime again, right?
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
So basically, it used to be in the first game. In the first game, you in the original version of Persona 5, I should say, when you do mementos or you do dungeon stuff, you do your RPG parts, right?
Mm-hmm.
After that, you're tired. That's a thing that's always been in Persona, except for 3, but that's because you could only do stuff at midnight. Mm-hmm. So, I think the thing with 3 was more just you can't stay too long in Tartarus or you're going to be fucking tired the next day. But 4 was like, okay, we go to TV World in the afternoon. You're fucking tired. You can't do anything tonight. Go to bed. Nerd. Persona 5 had the same mechanic, but in Persona 5 Royal, they're like, okay, you're tired. You can't leave LeBlanc, but you can still do LeBlanc stuff. So,
and they added a bunch of LeBlanc stuff.
So you can do crosswords for fucking free knowledge points. Yeah, boy.
You can clean for kindness. You can study for knowledge. You can make tools for proficiency.
Right. Yeah. You can. They changed the way DVD rentals, which is great. That's probably a quality of life thing. So in the original version, you have to rent the DVDs one by one, and you have to return them. And if you don't return them on time, you pay a late fee. In Royal, they introduce you to a student payment plan. You make one fairly reasonable payment for the year, and you can rent and return as many as you like. You can only rent one at a time, but it's free. So it's like, oh, this is great.
Yeah, well, I'm pretty sure they did that because I remember one time then I got stuck in a story loop where I couldn't do anything on my own for like
and you missed your deadline?
Huh?
And you missed your deadline?
Yeah, and I missed it hard.
Yeah, so I think that's just a quality of life thing.
Actually,
you can read books in LeBlanc, you can study in LeBlanc. You can basically do, I think, most of your skills, except maybe Guts by default?
I don't know if you can do Charm either. I know you can do kind.
Yeah, I think it's Charm and Guts. But, so they've reworked what you can do. I feel like that was a different mechanic that a different character had, Loth. But that's good that they got a thing. But, so that means that you're not wasting time, right, when you go to Mementos. Like, you can't do social links, but you can still work on stuff and build towards them, which is critical. Stat gain is critical in this game. I've already got 2s and everything.
Yeah. Also, from my understand it, I don't know this for sure.
Okay,
but
well, hold on, Loth. Tower Kid is better now? Tower Kid was fucking great already, because he gave you all the gun shit.
Gun is way better, just in general.
Oh, yeah, that's right. They did another quality of life. You get your ammo back after every battle, because it's all cognitive. So it's like, yeah, you just have your bullets back, and I'm just like, holy shit, dude, this is the best!
Actually, no. You know what's the best thing for me right now in
What's
battle? It's the fact that they tell you what type the persona is and what the best answer for them.
Oh, yeah. Now when you try to interrogate Morgana, it will tell you what kind of is, and he'll give you some guidelines. Sometimes they're a little rough. I remember in Madarame's Palace, there was like, I think it was grumpy type. I was trying to recruit some grumpies, and Morgana's just like, just be the better man, it'll be okay. And I'm like, I don't know what the fuck you mean by the better man in these dialogue choices, Morgana.
Well, I kind of remember, because, let's see here. Joyful...
There were a couple where it worked, but some of them I was just like, fuck, I don't know.
Like, Joyful wants jokey answers, Irritable wants serious answers, Timid wants kind answers, and Gloomy wants vague answers.
Mm-hmm.
Like, but, I was trying to think about, I don't remember that ever being explained in the first game. Ever.
There was probably a tutorial, but P5 has a lot of fucking tutorials. Literally, I didn't get out of tutorials within the first 3 hours of the game that I streamed. And I think it was another couple of hours of play after that before I got out of tutorials. It's rough, but now Morgana is like, yeah. They changed how your confidants work. With that, like, On's first thing is now girl talk. If it's a female shadow, she'll be like, you want to try that again, buddy? Ryuji's is, what is his? Joyful? Irritable? It's something. He does a shadow type too. And I'm not far enough of Yusuke for me to actually do his social link. So.
Yeah, I don't know if this is like, here's the problem. I'm trying to remember what's different between actual P5.
It's hard to tell. Like, all the personas are re-modified because they've added 2 new arcana. So they also have added thing.
They also had personas now have traits, which are little things on top of that.
Yes, now personas have a passive trait in addition to their skills, which in Fusion you get to pick what you inherit, which is cool.
Like, I'm not sure.
Lucky, by the way, do you know this? There is a free bundle for all the DLC for Persona 5.
Oh, I gotta check that out.
So you can get all the costumes and all the bonus personas. Omega may have accidentally summoned Messiah for free, not realizing that the game would give him a level 81 persona.
Oh.
So he just sits in my back pocket, and I'm like, well, if I really need to get rid of this problem, Messiah, just God hand that guy, and then I'm out. I don't use that normally, because then I'm like, fuck, I'm wasting my EXP, but that's my, I don't want to be in this fight anymore trigger. But yes, no, they give you get free summons of all the iconic DLC personas, so you can get, Messiah, Thanatos, Orpheus, Izanagi, Mugetsu Izanagi, Kaguya. You can also fuse them normally, like I have a Kaguya I made by fusing it.
Nice.
So it's cool, but the important thing is you get all the costumes. That includes the maid and butler, the swimwear, etc. costumes. You also get the various costumes for various other Persona games, so you can switch the music, and I will let you know if you want to switch to P4, do the dancing costume, not the regular P4 costume, because the battle music will be time to change history.
Oh, by the way, another thing that I liked about P5 is they have a new battle track, but it's interesting because you can only trigger that track if you do an ambush.
Which is 90% of the time, but I appreciate that because that was a complaint I had with, I've never actually played P4 Golden, but with P4 Golden, they changed the battle music, which sucks because Reach Up to the Truth is iconic. But it is now just the P4 battle music, right? Like, it's like they don't remember that Reach Out to the Truth exists, except they do, because it's in, like, dancing and stuff. But, I appreciate that in P5R, they gave you a new battle theme, but you can still get Last Surprise if you fight a normal battle.
Like, here's the thing, like...
Takeover is also grown on me.
Honestly, I feel... Let's see, what other interesting things...
Well, so there's a whole new area. After you beat the first palace, you can go to the Thieves' Den.
Yeah, you can play Rich Man, Poor Man, or what do they call it in here?
Tycoon.
Tycoon.
Which is pretty fun. I definitely do that at like 2 o'clock in the morning where like, I want to play some P5, but I don't want to play some serious P5. I'll just play a couple rounds of Tycoon. Yeah. They also give you decorations you can buy with special Tycoon tokens. It's got a music player, which is great, because you can buy you can buy all the classic battle music, you can buy all the new battle music, you can buy the full and instrumental versions of Shapeshifter, you can also buy the full and instrumental versions of, the name completely escapes me, the Palace, the calling card theme. I can only think of Reach Out for the Truth, I'm dumb.
Are we talking P5 still?
Yeah, P5s. What is it?
Rivers in a Dry Land?
No, can't do that yet, that's a late story thing. It's the
Fuck! Oh no, I'm blanking.
Things will change the name? That's one of the lines. Is that the name of the song? Life will change.
Life will change. There we go.
That one. We found it.
My brain. Why?
No, I don't think so. They have not yet anyway. They have Aria of the Soul. I don't know if they have the DLC music is the thing. but you can get that by just doing the stuff. Yeah, life will change is what I'm thinking of. You can get the instrumental in the full version. Also, that was another thing that was minor. I'm pretty sure in the original P5, you only heard the instrumental of Life Will Change at the start.
I think so, yeah.
In P5R, it plays the full version and then goes back to being instrumental when you go back to the first palace, which I appreciated. Also, I just really like Life Will Change.
Also, in the intro, I'm not gonna, I don't know what they're going for, but I do find it a little weird, that Kasumi was so involved, I want to say.
They tried to... What's the word I'm looking for? It's kind of similar to the thing we talked about back with Hamafura, where, the opening scene is oh, what the fuck is going on here? They, tried really hard to be yeah, you know what's happening. It's P5R. Oh, shit, who's this? New girl, who this? And I'm like, okay, she's cute, but did we went a little whole hog there.
Yeah. It's I'm motherfucking Joker. Being surrounded is no problem for
Well, that's good. I think I remember people said that Mary was kind of clunky in Golden.
Well, as I said, they're already peppering her through. Actually, I'm noticing
they did a really good thing where when they introduce her in the correct chronological fashion, it's really good. You bump into her on the subway, like you bump into fucking everybody.
Yep. Subways,
I don't remember bumping into Yusuke at the train station. So I'm is that new? Did we add that?
Yeah, I think they're actually adding more cameos from other characters. I
have definitely seen Makoto and Haru around more.
Yeah.
Which is good, because especially with Haru, that was a big problem, that they do tease her, but they tease her way late into the game, and then she doesn't come in until way later, and you feel who is this girl? I like her, but who the fuck is she? Right?
Apparently Haru is the reason why the room is unlocked now, and you're because she's taking care of the shit up there, and you're oh.
Yeah, it makes sense. You have a couple conversations with Makoto now. Also, they did a new thing, where after you do a social link, or a confidant meeting, they will call you after, and you have an extra opportunity to get more good boy confidant points before the next setup, which I love. One, because it gives new dialogue to the old confidant links, but also just because it's, more opportunities to grow.
I also like their phone sprite images, too.
Oh, yeah. All the talking sprites they really refreshed those. Everybody has a lot more expression sheets now.
Mm-hmm.
The lip flaps don't quite match up now, because they're a lot more expressive, but still, I appreciate that they have more in-dialogue expressions. They're more dynamic.
The dungeon reworks are okay. Usually it's just now, hey, grappling hook.
Yes.
Secret area?
Yeah, I thought people said that they were completely redesigned. At least the first two are not.
Yeah.
They have some extra secrets, because you can get the will seeds, and I'm what the fuck? What even? And then Cute Boy Jose is yo, I'll turn that into a real thing, and I'm okay, cool. But mostly it's just they integrated the grappling hook into a couple of scenes, right? Just, oh, hey, the grappling hook's here. Not that the grappling hook's not cool, it's just they changed the layout for it.
Also, it looks like they reworked boss fights a little bit, because you definitely see that with
Kamoshida.
Yes.
We should talk about that boss fight with
Kamoshida.
Because they totally added an element to it, which was holy shit. On the one hand, it makes perfect sense. Considering she's such a big character, he should have a cognitive Shiho, but it's also wow, game. Wow.
Okay, I'm not gonna lie, I might have a thing for Bunny Girl Shiho. I'm sorry, I feel
Shiho is great. I'm still sad that I'm 99% sure she's not a confidant.
Yeah.
Because that's the thing about, that's I think one of the flaws of these games, is usually they add new people. Persona 3 Fez didn't do that 100%. And I guess Golden didn't either, because you could fucking social link with Adachi, which is a whole nother thing. But, I think that there's only 2 new social links in Royal. I only remember them 2 being advertised. If there's more, don't tell me yet. I'll find out on my own. But, that was the thing with, Fez was oh, now you can have a full-blown social link with Aegis. That's cool. I like Aegis. She's cute.
Mm-hmm.
But, yes. Well, she didn't quite progress. She was story-locked at certain points, but, what was I saying? I feel like there was a missed opportunity with Royal to go back and rework some of the characters. I don't think I've unlocked it yet, so I don't know if we're gonna do anything different with wow, I have completely forgotten Makoto's sister name. It starts with an S. Sai. Okay.
Sai. Excuse me.
I was wait, it starts with an S. Which one is it? Because I'm in the palace, so I'm it's not Sayuri. Yeah, no! I bet you couldn't. Because she's story progressed. That would be weird. But They might, you never know, they might, like, throw in nods or something, right?
Let me date my lawyer!
But, and remember, guys, do be careful, because even though the game has been out since Halloween, Lucky and I know nothing about the extra stuff, just that some extra stuff exists. But,
we know the base game, but no extra stuff.
Yeah, and we'll probably spoil the base game a little, so we're sorry about that if we do accidentally, but yeah, I just feel like in Royal they missed a couple opportunities, like Confidant Shiho would have been really cool. I know she shows up a little in Ons, but like she's a cool character. I mean, I'll reach the new content. I will. I'm not like I'm not gonna. You think I'm gonna like wuss out?
Like honestly, Lucky bonds with like the weirdest fucking people in game. Like I love talking to the to the library girl, even though she just says the same thing. I'm like, library girl, what's up? How you doing?
Yeah.
Also, newspaper club girl.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, there's some fun NPCs. But so we were talking about Cognitive Shiho though, which is like, wow, damn game. That
yeah, as I said, I really like Cognitive Shiho. I'm like Bunny Girl Shiho.
The design is interesting, but also it's like, ow, that hurts.
It does. Like I usually don't feel guilty. I felt super guilty for liking Bunny Girl Shiho.
Yeah, I may have completely erased her, but that's because I didn't want to take another golden spike. But like they have, I'm interested to see what Madarame's is like. Like, is there going to be a cognitive Yusuke in there? But they've definitely done some things to switch up the boss fights a little, which is good because they would get stale. I think they've switched up. They've definitely switched up where certain personas are classified. You know, like what arcana they are. So I believe they've also switched up like different levels and mechanics and stuff. That's always good. That's pretty typical. You see a rebalancing. But in general, the game is pretty normal. I don't think I've accessed any of the super extra new stuff yet, just because you don't really have a super lot of freedom in the early game. You got to put in a good solid amount of hours before you can start fucking around exploring places. That's another function, the challenge battles. So I'm with the twins in addition to doing their confidant the normal way. They also have a bonus feature, which is you can talk to them and you can do challenge battles where you have to fight a series of waves and do score attack, basically. Which have special conditions and stuff.
I was able to complete the first one where you have to fight.
Yeah, I just tried the second one and I lost at the last minute, so I'm like, I'll come back to this, because I'm only level 19, you know, so it's like, I need maybe a couple more levels and maybe make sure my my persona spread is more rounded.
But,
but they give you, like, extra shit, which is cool.
Yeah, let's see. They've touched up Mementos in a way, mostly with the addition of Jose.
Yep. I don't know what the fuck his deal is, and I'm, much like the counselor, I'm sus as fuck, but that's because Persona.
Yeah. I said, anyone who go around fucking with the entirety of the human unconscious makes you wonder.
Who also literally calls himself not a human. I'm like, I want to like almost like hold him up by his the sides of his face and go, "What are you?" But nobody seems to care that much, so I'm like, whatever, I'll roll with it. I'll deal.
I don't care though. I love his fucking menu screen though.
Yeah, he's got a great menu and he's got some great extra features. So, you collect stamps from mementos. You can change mementos so you can get more items, more money, and more XP, which is great.
Oh yeah.
There's a lot of ways to get extra XP now, which is really cool.
I like the fact that when you collect the flowers, you can at least buy a few SP recovery items.
Yes, he basically, the other function is he is a shop in mementos, which is great. So you can stock up on stuff like I think he carries a couple stuffed souls and stuff. And
the party-wide 20. That was always the benchmark for me, is how long I can make my SP last. Basically, as soon as I ran out of SP, I'm like, nope, I'm done for the day.
That's always how I handle mementos, which is like, I will go until either I can't go anymore, or I'm fucking completely out of SP. And sometimes if you're close, you'll be like, I'll suck it up and just punch everybody for the next 10 minutes.
Like, honestly, I think I did not 4 trips. No, I think I did 2 full trips of mementos. I started from the top, went to the bottom, back to the top, back to the bottom. Like, okay, I'm done. Because, Omega, I don't know, but there are 2 stamps on the first 2 levels of mementos.
Oh, so there's a stamp card for the initial? Okay, I'll have to make sure to go back and get them. Because I believe you only run into Jose once you unlock the second layer.
Yeah.
So I'll have to go back and get those. That's okay, though. Those guys are chumps.
Yeah, they'll be fine. Let's see here. I didn't, actually get full on my notes, because here's the thing. I didn't want to talk about everything that I noticed new about Persona.
No, because we want to play the whole game and, do maybe a retrospective.
Yeah, but there are definitely things that I'm like, whoa, that is cool. I should mention that. Like I said, apparently the purring thing is not new, but it's new to me, so I'm still like, what the fuck?
I've seen in the challenge menu that there's something about, like chain capture or something. So I'm wondering if we'll get the grappling hook updated and we can fucking ambush people from across the room.
That's always great. I've seen screenshots of a lot of things, and I'm excited to get there. But as I said, right now,
yeah,
I'm gonna be full
so
board.
for now, I'm mostly just trying to get my confidant groove back on.
Yeah.
Which how Omega does that is, I think I've been trained by P4 mostly because the way P3 works is completely different. Bosses don't have dungeons, or if they do, they're very limited. Mostly it's just exploring Tartarus, which you just kind of do whenever. You're like, tonight's a Tartarus night. Everybody put your fucking armbands on. We're gonna go to the Dark Hour. But P4 has the actual dungeons and the deadlines. Like, actually, that's a good question. I guess P3 has you get a boss battle every full moon, but it doesn't really have traditional deadlines, right? Until the very end where you're like, okay, the final battle will occur on day X, you know? But P4 has yo dude, somebody's gonna fucking die if you don't beat the dungeon in a month. So, what Omega learned to do is just power through those dungeons until the end, and then you have shitloads of free time.
Yeah.
Because the game will, it's more funny, I think, in P5, because I still remember Futaba. You fucking beat Futaba's palace in, 2 days, and she sleeps for a month.
Yeah.
And somehow that's not weird. So, you get a lot of fucking free time.
That's what happens.
Which I love to use that free time either to clear the new level of Mementos or just do all those social links and stat ups. Yeah. I'm probably, especially because it's getting later, I'm probably going to just pop out of here and go back to playing P5R right after this. That's why, I talked about earlier how my FF7 copy is delayed. I'm not mad because now I'm in the swing of P5, so I'm having fun. I'll probably be okay taking a break in a couple days to try 7 Remake because I'm also super anticipating it. But yeah, Royal is good, and I'm very interested to see the later stuff. And honestly, if the thing is to get the extra content, I have to make sure to do the 2 new confidants. I was gonna do that anyway. They're new. I already got Dr. Man beating down my door, being like, "Yo, dog, come back, come see me," and I'll be like, "Sure thing. You give me more SP." Which, by the way, that's a great design element to make you want to talk to that guy.
Oh.
You right there? You just sleepy? You feeling the sleepy time?
I'm feeling a little sleepy time. Sorry. I think
Did you zone out for a little bit there?
Yeah, I did.
That's okay. The only thing I think that could be worth a response is I mentioned that I think the game does a good job with the counselor, where it's like he gives you extra SP and stuff, so you're like, holy shit, I want to talk to this dude forever. Give me all your shit, bro.
I don't know,
I'll say this, I'm sus as fuck about this guy. I'm like, whoa, an authority figure who is not a woman I can bang? Danger. Because, let's be real, Persona 5 taught me some lessons, okay? I'm like, unless you're a hot chick, I cannot trust you. Where's my gun?
The politician was great.
That's true. I love that man. I gotta beat this fucking palace so I can go back to my fucking beef bowl night job and get into that guy, because he's great.
It's honestly, the politician I think is probably actually, surprisingly one of my favorites.
Well, yeah, he's the son, too, which is very thematic.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
But the counselor, I appreciate what the game is going for, because, one, it answers a very important question, which is, where the fuck are the therapists, right?
Yeah.
That was a question people had about P5, which is yo dog, a girl tried to commit suicide, and we had a serial sexual harasser and abuser, and the school does fuck all? And on the one hand, it works because, Principal Potato does fuck all, right?
Yeah.
He's literally useless. He is a human potato. And quite frankly, a lot of the teachers are a little shifty. There's that one lady teacher who's always bullying Kawakami. Kawakami is just dead inside.
Honestly, I think I would have maybe liked a little bit more interactions from the teachers, now that I think about it.
Yeah, there's a little bit, though, which is always good. They're not quite as gimmicky as P4's teachers, though, which included the lady who wore an ancient Egyptian headdress, even though she was totally Japanese, but she was your history teacher. Though, on a competition, it's hard to weigh who is a shittier teacher, King Moron or Kamoshida. On the one hand, Kamoshida, touches high school girls. On the other hand, man, King Moron was an asshole. Nobody was sad when his ass died. But, it's true, King Moron does actually teach, maybe. He taught me about ressentiment. That's another thing that's completely different. A lot of the test questions and schoolroom questions are different.
Oh yeah, when I came up with the Devil's Dictionary, I'm like, I don't actually know what the fuck this is.
Yeah, that completely blindsided me on stream. Though my Fate knowledge has come into play more than once.
Yes, that is so true. Oh my god.
They had a question about fucking Yoshitsune. There's a question about Katsushika Hokusai later. I'm just like, I know this. Honestly, I usually feel that way about a lot of, like, holy shit. P3 had a lot of... One of the things they added for FES is the fucking school nurse does a literal, like, week-long seminar about tarot and fortune-telling, and I was like, I know this shit. The counselor asked me about the placebo effect.
Mm-hmm.
But it's cool. Do you have anything else you want to say about Royal? Or as I stretch?
I'm trying to think.
I mean, basically, the short version is I'm having a blast. It's been enough, it's been long enough that I feel good coming back to it. But it's also fresh enough that it's like, it doesn't feel stale.
Yeah, like, I'm excited to get back to, like maybe get some new areas and stuff, and I think it might be a little bit of a slog getting to them, but it's not so much a slog that I don't want to do it.
Yeah, right? Like, it's like, I know that I'm like, man, it's gonna be a long way to go to 5, because I need to go hang out with Makoto, but I'll do it.
Yeah. And as I said, they're adding little bit things here and there to keep it spiced up, so I'm okay with it. Like I said, like, I'm like at 2 of everything. So I think when I first 5, I don't think I was at stage.
No, probably not. One, because you probably couldn't be, because you would be going to palaces and mementos, including on mandatory trips where you literally couldn't do anything. At least in this game, right? Like, you can be like, oh, I can read a book or I can study. I studied a lot before my exams. I got better than average. I can't wait to get my proficiency high enough. That fucker hit me with a piece of chalk twice. It will not happen a third time.
Really? He missed me on the second one.
No, I think my priority was just that proficiency was the last thing I worked on, so I wasn't that high.
Okay.
By the time the second throw got him, but I'll be like, I'll. That's when I went whole hog. I think I rented the proficiency DVD. I'm like, I'm gonna get you next time, bud. I'm Joker. You can't get away with that shit.
I made lock picks because I've noticed a lot of lock chests and fucking.
Yeah, I made 3 for Madarame's palace. You need 4. Luckily, you can do that at night at least.
Oh yeah,
that's another. Again, talking about that, the fact that you can do shit at LeBlanc and not have to go to sleep is great. Because that was always the problem with thief tools. Was just you had to carve out a night to prep them.
Mm-hmm.
Now it's just like, well, I'm home anyway. I might as well. But
or you have to wait till you get Morgana to teach you how to make the fucking master lock pick. You're all like, 1 lock pick for everything. Yeah.
Yeah, can't wait for that. Hopefully that's still in. It probably is, just because that's a great time saver.
It is.
Though, like I said, I can't wait to get Kawakami back and work on her because I didn't care about the massage or anything, but I really need somebody to do my fucking laundry. I have so much. They really went crazy on the giving you dirty clothes and shit.
Yeah.
I've got dozens of them. I'm like, I don't have fucking time for this. Who has time to go to the laundromat that much? Though, funnily enough, I did buy the laundromat model for the Thief's Tent. Which,
honestly,
another thing, pretty fun,
actually, one of the things I'm actually most excited about is apparently they redid Akechi's confidence, if I remember correctly.
Yes, I believe that they have worked on him, and like, no spoilers, but I'm assuming that's because they're going to try and do something where he's still playable at the end or something.
But like, I do want, like, I am hoping that maybe you actually get chances to hang out with him and stuff like that.
Ooh, so he's not completely story locked?
Like, I'm not sure. Like I said,
if he's not, I will totally work on him because the Akechi dynamic is really, really good.
It is.
Okay, well, I'll keep that in mind if they show it up. That's always the thing with like priority. You need to do the whole like max out your shit. So it's like if he shows up rarely, that's the kind of thing where I'm like, wait, hold on, my buddy Akechi's calling me. I gotta go. Sorry, Ryuji. Sorry, my girlfriend. Sorry, people in palaces. I'm out.
Don't you say he has an A on his briefcase? That means he's important.
Yeah, but that's also, I do love I think they changed it slightly about the phone thing, where, like, literally every time it's like, I think this was still in there, but I feel like they do more opportunities to be like, no, your bond is definitely going to go closer soon. Yeah. Like, right away. I don't remember that being that smooth.
I'm not sure.
Yeah, that's another thing. Also, I have a network feature, so I'm just checking what people are doing.
Mm-hmm. Actually, I gotta take a quick break real quick.
Well, I was thinking we're going to wrap up.
Yeah, if you want to go ahead and wrap up, that's fine.
All right. Lucky will pop off and I'll wrap up the show, because I think we're done talking about P5R. I want to go play Big 5R. Besides, we're at 2 hours and 50 minutes, kids, so it's time to go. It's time to go, kids. So, I'll just drop this on you. Hey, if you like this video and you're watching on YouTube, be sure to give us a like. If you have any comments, leave them in the comment section down below, or hit us up on our Discord. That link is, as always, in the description. And it's a great time. It's also on our channel page, along with some other things. You can also always make sure to subscribe to us to get all our latest videos if you want to get more What's Ups, if you want to get more gameplay videos or more streams, make sure to sub. Also, make sure to ring that bell for notifications so you always know when we post a new video. It also helps let you know when we stream. Make sure that those notifications are set to all, so you actually get all of them. And, of course, like it says at the front of the show, consider supporting us on Patreon. You can access to this episode in audio format early. As soon as it finishes editing, upload it to you right away, at least while my internet is cooperating. My internet's been a little sketchy today where it's been cutting out, but it works out okay. But it's a great way to get our content early, get it in more accessible formats, be involved in stuff. And yeah, wow, I feel sleepy all of a sudden. I'm the sleep boy. I'll wrap this up really quick for reals by just saying that thanks so much for tuning in to What's Up. Be sure to check out our most recent episode of Let's Talk FGO if you haven't already. Stay tuned next week for more Let's Talk FGO and more What's Up. And of course, upcoming streams if they work. If I can't get through to a stream on heck, I might stream Jackbox anyway on a Tuesday. I'll figure it out. All right, that's everything for me, guys. Lucky is still gone, so I guess he'll just be gone as I wrap up and end. So, bye, everybody.